file is a blip.
Because my shit was in Cambria.
You were the one.
It was you.
It
all
comes down to
along.
this.
Because at some point you specifically copied the word quantity out.
I did.
Hunts
Also,
for
the
Cambria now.
proficiency numbers on the front simple sheet page are also in Cambria.
That's funny.
Oh, Jesus
Interesting.
Christ.
I think it'll be okay. It'll be
I'm
okay.
not okay. I'm not okay, Zvi. I'm not okay.
Keep it together.
It's not okay, Zvi. It's not okay.
Oh, Svi.
Yes.
Did you figure out the physical enhancements thing?
No, this is the first time I set that on my computer in the past 20 hours.
Svi. Why?
Because.
Do you want me to do a
What
backup
is-
recording? I'll do a backup recording.
Might as well.
I'll do a backup recording.
What going on? I will have
Whenever
to.
you
I'm
just-
back on the bad work schedule, so I only get like the one day to actually do anything, and it
Oh, I
was
hate your work
yesterday.
schedule. Fix it.
I need to know how many not grenades that I can carry.
You get no more not grenades than you currently have. Stop your grenades immediately. Who are we
Alright,
missing?
is everybody in roll 20?
No, we are missing
No,
Toby.
I'll be there in a second.
Alright, I can see Zvi. Oh, that's right. I was gonna test something. I need something to test with.
We need a Toby.
I need a test.
I need a young priest and an old priest.
We already know that works. We don't need to test that.
I don't know. Not sure we want to test that.
Alright, there's
Stationary
Toby.
progress.
That didn't work. Or did it? I don't know.
Okay. I am logged in. I am seeing a polar bear in the snow.
Oh, also, Zvi, I don't know if you noticed this, but I made you a whole bunch of token uploads that I did. So in that section where I made Big Stats note name, there is a bunch of like minions and shit like that that are just tokens that you can drag and drop out.
in that
you
map?
can have them.
What map was that? Was that this map?
Do you need goblins?
It's on all maps. I don't think we'd complain.
Did I give you the goblins, Sam?
I don't think so.
They're really cute.
Okay, my macro isn't working for that. I'm gonna have to see if I can get
Wait,
to it.
where are they hiding though? Oh, here we
If
go.
you
Big
go to
Stat.
the
There
thing-
we go. Yeah. Okay, I got it.
I have minions and monster tokens, and I'm slowly gonna fill that in for you, so you just have stuff, okay?
Sweet.
I need to make more tokens for you
Sweet.
guys.
Tokens.
Tokens. I might just
My
steal some of the
damage went
monsters.
down.
Another game.
Huh? All of our stats went down.
My
Yes.
damage went down severely.
Yes,
Well,
it
the
did.
thing
All our
is-
damage went
Yours
down.
went down.
Even though my damage went down, I'm still dealing more than you, which is the important part.
I can't argue with the logic. I mean,
That means enemy damage.
Damn it, Svi, have you not hung around with Dari
Oh,
and
God.
us enough to know you can argue with any logic?
fair. Touche.
Okay, I have two screens for a reason. Here we go. F11. Oh, that didn't do what I wanted it to do.
Well, my world's turned into pain and suffering.
All the weapon damages went down too. The endure's not really all that different. Or at least the damage rate shouldn't be all that different. The one that's going to be interesting is the hit rate. We'll experiment with that today. So let's spend a little time here going over some of this that changed. Having read Treyout stuff last time was very helpful because it just highlighted that there was too much addition going on. So I went by and basically rehashed the way core checks worked to eliminate the bonuses that were done by having things in excess of difficulty. So now we're going to try something new where it's just kind of a growing dice system wherein if you are above the difficulty point, you get better dice, and if you're below the difficulty point, you get worse dice, and it just goes in a step. So everybody should have 6-20-S, which was posted in several different chats. No, no, I didn't. I said gamers in general can't do math. It wasn't a targeted insult, it was a generic insult.
Growing up, I realized there's too much attention in this.
Including myself. Alright, so yeah,
Look, I
6
can
dash
draw numbers, I just can't add them, okay? I'm an artist.
6
I know how
dash
to draw the
20
number Fleeve.
dash 7. How do you draw the number Fleeve? Don't draw it. Never mind. Don't draw
All I know
Fleeve.
is that is number wang, and that is problem.
So yeah, 6-20-S. On the first page, boop, 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 boop. There we go, down at the bottom of said page, there's a scale there. You might want to like bookmark this or keep it off to the side or open a second one just to have it to reference. I think eventually it will be pretty quick to memorize because it really is just you start at 2d8 if you're equal to the task. 2d8 are your dice, and then you just go up from there. D8 and D10, D10 and D10, D10 and D12, D12 and D12. It's just step it up by 1. But in the meantime, you can just have this first page 1 open here and they'll be written there. The other thing that changed with this was that I flopped what was providing the bonus and what was being referenced as difficulty. So whereas before we were using proficiency to reference difficulty for the check, and we were adding our status bonus, we are now using the stat to reference difficulty for the check and adding the proficiency as bonus. And that was done specifically because using this system the way it was, dice rolls were becoming lower because we didn't have as big a bonus being added to it, because before we were adding +2, +3, +4 and stuff. So that if you had this like hard +5 or something to your check because you just happened to be good at whatever it was you were doing, even if you were rolling worst possible dice, it was pretty hard to fail. So didn't want to have that, so we're going to try it the other way around. I think it will be a little better. The nice part about this too is that difficulties will become gradually easier just as you play the game more, and it also kind of incentivizes people to spread out their stuff a little bit so they're not always getting hosed on mind checks or physical checks or whatever. Just to try it. Alright, so we'll take it one step at a time and play with it as we go and see how it goes. The other result of this, because we don't have bonuses being added to things to the same degree as before, is that overall dice are going to roll lower than they did, or checks are going to roll lower than they did, which is why evade went down. And endure went down in order to stay on par with evade, so that they would have pretty similar number values to them. Which means weapon damages went down a little bit, which I was kind of thinking about doing anyway, because on some of the bigger weapons we were ending up that after a full round you were adding like 32 to 27 to 36, and again the adding was getting kind of meh. So it shouldn't be
what do boons do now?
quite as high. Okay, so that is a thing. If you look back at the thing over here where it says if it exceeds difficulty by 1, add d8 plus d10 all the way down here. If it exceeds by 5 plus, roll d12 d12 with a property and add your proficiency score. A property is basically an automatic crit. You get to describe how you've succeeded, and there are examples of properties that you can always call on, like you perform the task silently, you perform the task in a way that is untraceable, you achieved a 10% discount on your negotiation, or you succeed on a 10 instead of a 12. A boon is the same as having that property applied. So if you have a boon in something, you can always apply the succeed on 10 instead of a 12, or you can apply the I want to do this quietly, or you can basically describe how you want your success to work. A fault means that I get to describe how your failure works.
What happens if you have a boon and you also exceed by 5 plus?
You're pretty baller. Congrats.
You just
You get
ruined
two
someone's
properties.
day.
you do get 2 properties, yeah.
Nice.
Double silent. I
Yeah.
like it. So quiet,
Um,
even I didn't know I did it.
So can I get boardwalk and bad joke about properties?
Fair enough. I'm glad. I saw where you're going there. I was wondering if you're going to finish it, but you kind of tapered off at the end.
I couldn't remember any
The other ones, yeah.
names. I was just getting railroads and utilities, and that wasn't helpful.
Fair enough.
I kind of missed it. What exactly is it that's like a boon or a fault?
It allows you to apply a property to your success, or it allows me to apply a property to your failure, which means basically that you get critical successes or critical failures on regular checks if you have a boon or a fault
There's
on it.
things at the top of page 2.
But there are a few that you can kind of always call on. So what I figure is going to happen in most cases, which is why it's here, is most people who have boons are going to choose to pass on 10s instead of 12s. Like that's probably your default go-to for having a boon. You can pick any of the other ones if you want to, or you can describe your own little thing to it. And as long as it's not excessive, you can use it as part of narrative. But the succeed on 10 instead of 12 is something that you can just choose to do if you're 5 points above.
Now, this doesn't specify it. Do you get to choose before or after you roll?
Well, before, and before you do it, I'll put. I thought I did put it in there. Did I not? 5 points. Options. All right, I'll put it in there if you do it. Yeah, you gotta choose ahead of time.
Yeah, because you succeed on your checks implies after, so it needs to be.
Yeah. In combat, it limits the type of bonus you get to it. There's only one that really applies in combat. So in combat, the boon and fault allow you to re-roll your ones without having to bump them up to 2s. So you know how we usually have to bump up a 1 to a 2 before we can re-roll it, so it uses 2 focus or 2 readiness. If you've got a boon in those combat stats, you don't have to bump it up.
So the properties only come up though if you're 5 points above or lower, right?
Or if you
Or
have
have
a
a
boon
boon.
and fault. That's what the boon and faults do, is they allow you to apply a property.
Oh, okay.
So there's really not much else that's being added to a check anymore. It's just your proficiency score gets added to it and the dice that you roll, and on occasion, if you've got some kind of fancy item or something, that might get added too. The weapons accuracy scores still do get added, and you are still working off your ranged attack bonus and melee attack bonus for those, as opposed to the proficiency. So we'll hop into that in just a second. Actually, we're probably starting out of combat, right? Because we were in there.
Yes.
All right. So at the moment, combat or ranged combat is still difficulty 2. I'm pondering dropping that to 1. I want to see how often we hit on difficulty 2, because that's going to be, now that dice are rolling a little lower, that might be a thing. So that might go down to 1, but we'll see. For attacks. I'm hopping down to him right now. Here we go. All right. So you're using your mind score to compare to difficulty, the same way that we used to use for your ranged attack score. So it's whatever your mind score versus the difficulty 2 for attacking at range. You get to add your ranged attack bonus to it, the same way that we did before, and you add your weapons accuracy score to it as well. And people who used to have random accuracy scores, I think almost all of those have been changed to stagnant numbers now, again to cut down on dice rolling.
Unarmed. Still
yeah.
says D4.
I think the unarmed is still D4, but the ones like
Yeah.
the bow has like a solid value on it now, I think.
No.
Did you
I'm
check the
still at
PDF? Because
D3.
I didn't fix it on the
Oh.
sheet. Don't assume that I fixed these things
Yeah.
on the sheet.
Be reading the PDF instead of talking about the updates.
Let me look. Composite bow. Oh, maybe not. No, the FTT bows is 0.
Yeah.
No, the bows are still on D3s. All right. What did I change? I know there was one there.
Hmm.
Well, go off the ones that are written here. I know I did. I gotta find out where it's hiding. I'll get back to that later. Even in the event that I didn't end up changing them or they didn't save, which is entirely likely to because I was doing it kind of quickly, they are probably going to become stagnant values
Okay.
because they were. I mean, I like the idea of them being random because it is kind of a, not every punch is going to be the same level of accuracy, but it was becoming hard to track.
Mm-hmm.
So they will probably become on their own.
By the way, since Reclaim Clause, I noticed it lost some of the verbiage it had. Does it still have the ability where it can affect heavy and higher armor, or is it now capped at medium? Do you have that?
I think those affect heavy and higher.
Okay, because it lost that verbiage
Did it?
on the thing. Yeah.
Reclaimed clause.
It just, in fact, it just says your unarmed attacks gain the following damage table. They still count as unarmed. And then D4, and then damage 6 plus 12.
I know there's a.
Yeah, there's a technique that does it, but I
technique that
actually
does
thought the
that.
clause did it too. Well, I can
Heavy-handed
tweak
was
that.
the one that did, and it doesn't do it anymore.
All right.
Ah.
Well, the clause should do
Which
it
is why I'm asking.
because they're clause.
Yeah. It probably just accidentally got dropped off
Yeah,
somewhere.
I bet it got deleted
That's why
someplace. Let me add it to a little notes thingy here.
Yeah. Good to get done.
Okay, reclaimed claws, hurt armor. Okay. Okie dokie.
Yay.
Alright, so we were in the middle fight. Sam was kind enough to put some notes up here for me, wherein I can discover that where I was used as the third implant, and based on Steve's reaction, he rolled a 2.
Nope, I
which is
don't think that's what we believe.
fairly certain that's what happened. Almost positive. Might have been maybe a 3, but that's pushing it. I couldn't
You were not
possibly.
You have like this thing you do when you're lying. Did you know that?
Is it?
All the time?
It's called playing Lonnie.
Yeah, it's called your voice sounds vaguely Lonnie-ish when you start talking.
I got monsters, other stuff. Is turn order still on there? And we were at the top of the round. I think.
No, we were
on the second person. I
Yeah,
was
second
top of the
person.
round.
Yeah, second person on there.
Go.
Up go.
What else are we at? Oh, yes. Welcome, streamers, if you're there. I don't actually have
You
it
have
turned on.
streamers.
So if you are doing notes and whatnot, as
Hi,
a
Sarah.
courtesy to the players, I actually don't keep the chat up so that I'm not staring at it constantly. So don't expect me to answer. Sorry. Welcome to another exciting episode of HSD, the game where the rules are made up and the points are actually kind of important. So pay attention to those.
Definitely don't start yelling profanities at speed chat.
I actually like to think that the chat or the people watching the Pulse event, because we're entertaining them by beating each other up.
That's true.
Are you not entertained?
I hope so, because that's all our ratings.
Bep would like to be
We
free
are
of this
very
car.
All right. So is Bep up currently? Because yeah, Sam just
Bep
went.
is up. Bep is wedged against the wall in a car.
All right, Bep, you are wedged against the wall in the car.
Bep would like to push this car away using her physical enhancement.
How much of your body is stuck in the fender right now? I need to know.
10, but I've got skeletal elasticity, so it's fine.
Fair enough. Okay, so
Wait,
just
Can I just squeeze my way out of this?
yes, technically.
I'm gonna do that.
I actually don't know if that's any easier because you've got the you could push,
Top at the top like
or
a
yeah, you can just kind of go, you
I know
know.
that you have my weight on top of the car as well.
That
though.
doesn't matter. I can fit through a thing the width of my hand, which is hilarious.
Yes,
for that.
because your hand is not
Oh,
particularly large.
And the rest of her is.
Yes.
But I want to push the car.
Alright.
Bep is dumb.
You wanna get the car
So,
push?
Bep has met resistance. Bep would like to push back.
And I would like to
Okay, now
push the car into the worms.
how do you want to push? Are you gonna give it like is it a gentle thing, or are you actually trying to shove it forward?
Just trying to shove it forward.
Okay, do a logic. So difficulty is based off your mind score, and I'm gonna say
I
difficulty
have
for this is a
mind of
2.
5.
Okay, so you are 3 points over.
Let me address the chart rather than ask you. I'm 3 points over, so it's D12 and a D10.
All right, and you're doing logic, so you'll be adding your logic score to this check.
Pretty sure that is 0 for Bep. It is 0 for Bep.
Good stuff.
Alright. Brimzo! Hey!
You make it. It occurs to you, right as you're about to shove, that the thing had tried to use whatever strange magical abilities it has to rip the wall down behind you, and it is probably compromised. Depending on how hard you push, you may go backwards rather than forwards.
No, Bep doesn't think that.
Okay.
One of my rolling to push as hard as I can.
do body exert and athletics, and I'm gonna call it a. You've got the physical enhancement, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like a 2.
Okay. But I have a 3 in body, so I'm 1 above, so that's a D8 and D10, right?
And then whatever your athletic score is.
D8 plus D10. My athletics is 4. And I have a boon in this, so I'll get to choose a property, which I need to choose before, right?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
I want my property to do this silently.
Okay. Seems good.
So somehow cars
God
move.
damn it! Did I say silently? I meant to see them.
Do you want to use a readiness?
No, because I used all of it for a knit.
Okay. You give it a good shove, but it does not quite budge.
Okay.
Nobody hears you back there, though.
Alright, so that's one action, right?
Uh-huh.
Um,
You're gonna saunter up and do it again?
no, Beth is going to pause for a moment and then use her remaining 2 actions to restore D3 wounds to herself.
Okay.
Actually, no. Has anyone else hurt?
Nope.
I don't think so. Yeah, I'll just do it to myself. Roll D3. I get 2 wounds back.
Nice.
Not bad.
That is Beth's turn.
Bep is done. Who do we have over here? We had the person right in front. Person right in front does not hear the squishy thing behind the car. Does see the big giant Technicolor Dreamcoat on top of the car. And I believe, are we in combat, Croquette?
I was in combat with them.
Okay, so they are currently fighting. All right, so he's gonna go after Croquette. All right, so in this case, I have to remember. I think they had a 3 to what they were doing. All right, so you are a 5, right?
Yep.
It is a 3. And that's your body score, right? Because that's what we're comparing now.
Yep.
Okay, so it is a 3, so you are
Either
2
way,
above.
yeah.
Slash roll D. 6 plus D6. Believe that's right. I was guessing. No, I'll check it. 3 below D6 and D4. Okay.
You said he's a 3, right?
Yeah, he says. Oh, I'm 2 below. Yeah, I'm a 2 to your 5. Yeah. Because I'm a 3 to your 5, so I'm 2 below. So I was right. 6 and 6. All right, and then his close combat bonus is that. Then he's going for the claws, which were D3. Or plus D4, because I didn't end up standardizing those like I should have. I believe that's a miss. He also manages to bend his wrist backward badly.
I'm just trying to quickly figure out something for me swinging back. It's claiming on the sheet that I have a D4 plus 7. I'm just trying to figure out where the plus 7 is coming from.
So it'll be your proficiency in close combat, which is probably a 5.
Yeah.
And then you put notoriety into attacking too, probably?
Oh, yeah, my melee attack.
Yeah, so then, yeah, that's probably where it's coming from.
Okay.
Alright, it does not get a second attack because it broke its arm trying to attack you. I'm going to go for a bonus if I can get it. The 20 will hit. You're fine.
Okay.
I'm going to see if I can make the bonus.
Did I mention my damage didn't budge?
For the unarmed ones, I don't think it did. Yeah, the unarmed ones didn't tweak. Mostly because you kind of have to build for them to make them do anything. I meet it. I do get the other attack. He's going to go for the bonus attack. No good? No good. Alright. You hit.
Oh,
Nice. Holy crap.
60 damage in 1 round. Nice.
Oh, I didn't see the previous attack.
25.
25? Okay, 60.
Oh, good job, buddy.
550, that's 2. Boom, boom. Alright, he's hit. That's it for him. The guy next to him, I think they're going to try to gang up. We'll see how that works. He's going to come over here. He's going to go on you, and so is his friend.
Well, hey, they didn't tag in. That's illegal.
It is. They're both on the tarmac right now. 14 out of 10.
Fight the ball. Neither hit.
Okay. You get to swing back at the one currently attacking you. And you hit.
I'm really surprised. Okay.
7 to 1. Right? Is that right? I'm just checking stuff really quick. Ding, ding. There it is. No, that's right. They were big hulking really slow things. All right, 19 to him, and
Yep.
they will go ahead and swing back again. Come on, dice. Feel free to like kick up there a little bit.
Still both mess.
You're doing fine.
Yep.
17.
So,
Okay, yep, that knocks him up by 1, which is enough. So you put a fist through the one spindly critter that had come over this way to come help out. It apparently was probably trying to flee at some point, and I forgot about it.
I was just gonna go. I got him.
Down here. That's this guy. He was going for glory. All right, he's gonna go back and screech up at the building again. He roars back and generates a mighty roar. He needed 25% chance last time. Now he's gonna need a 50% chance to pull it down. 100. I'm gonna say hi. There goes.
Uh-oh.
He screeches and the building rumbles over here, and the whole front facade of the building crumbles downward. Those of you who are pinned can't really reflex out of this. Francois, you can try to dodge.
Is there any way I can try to protect Bep?
Yeah.
I
Pull
would like
me
to
out!
punch
Pull
you.
me
Can I
out!
please do a stunt? Can I punch each piece of concrete as it comes down? And falls off of Bep?
I don't really have a system for that.
Can that
if-
just be the flavor of what they're doing as their reflex save?
Yeah.
you can well, so if you're trying to defend Bep, you can't dodge out of it because you need to actually get out of the way. So you're basically going to have to try to endure it, which is a different save. So for the endure save, it's going to be 2d8 plus the difficulty, which I'm going to say for this is going to be 10. But if you succeed, you will defend Bep from damage. Otherwise, you both take
So-
it.
I'm rolling 2d8
Yep.
plus 10.
Yeah, and then that's you're checking to see if that gets under your endure score.
Oh, yeah!
Nice.
My endure is 22. I
Awesome.
believe that is
Yep.
below.
So you
Yay!
lean over, and the majority of the brickage hits you. Bep, a large crustacean spans the gap over the top of you, and you hear a colossal thumping of stuff on top of the shell. Let's see how bad it is, though.
Hello, I am Bep.
Hi.
Francois, 10 wounds as a building falls on, or 5 wounds as a building falls on top of you.
Oh god. You should probably get out of here. Ow. Okay, so now I put that under wounds. Where's my total even? I don't even know.
It's at the top of the status section of your sheet, which is on the far left of the front page.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, no, I'm actually pretty decent.
Okay. Over here, the Lizard King over here is probably not fast enough to get out of here, but he's going to try. Croquette, you can either try to stay in and hold him there with you, or you can try to dodge out of the way.
I will like to dodge out of the way.
Okay. So do 2d8 plus difficulty on this is going to be, I'm going to call it 6.
It's an evade, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay, cool. I knocked that down to a 5.
Okay.
Would this be using?
Oh my god, I didn't get out of there.
Just barely under my evade, but under my
You
evade.
made it. Okay, so you were able to dodge aside. Come on out to like this one over here. That's about where it ends. This guy does not dodge. He's going to take d8. 1. He actually survives it. It goes down on top of him, and even though it scrapes and crumples him, the kind of distorted body is still standing there,
Motion
vital
again,
but
the
wounded.
scraping thing.
We get this card here, so Penny, it's going to come down in front of you, but I don't think it's going to hit you. It kind of came down. Oh, that's the wrong tool. I need free hand.
Penny?
Bep bugs.
Oh, right. Sam.
What?
There we
No,
go.
you're not allowed to hit me. I'm in a safe place.
No, that's what I said. It's going right around here because it's the building crumbling this way
High
upward.
pitched screaming ensues.
Yeah. So
It's the end of
close,
the world as I know it.
but you evaded. Bep, you have a little tunnel there, kind of under the car with all the stuff on it, so you were able to avoid harm. But you do have Po' Boy stuck above you now, buried in rubble, who is currently prone.
Yes, Pep will fix.
How did I get back to? Oh yeah, it's Croquette's turn. Okay, so
So,
Croquette,
this is my turn.
your quarry stands there, beaten but not destroyed.
I'm gonna jump on top of the rubble and I'm gonna punch him in the face.
Okay, you just want to walk normally. You only have 1 hex to move there.
Yeah.
Like, are you trying to stunt or just gonna walk?
No, I'm just walking normally.
Okay.
It's the flavor who's just hopping up and then punching.
All right.
And I also now, since Heavy Head is no longer used for Brawler, which means I keep swinging until he takes a wound.
That was the other one that I needed to look at.
Hit him.
Well, is he swinging back?
Yeah, he just did, but I missed.
He's swinging back to he missed.
Yeah. All right. He gets dead.
Okay.
He did it.
Hey, buddy, this is Heavy. Can you give me a hand?
Continue to climb over the rubble and don't think I can do anything else.
It's a
Move,
little
attack,
heavy
move, yeah.
over
Yeah,
here.
that's
Oh,
the that's
yes,
the.
hello, I am Bep.
You can see Francois stuck under a bunch of rocks, and then from far below, hello, I am Bep. Next
Okay, I'm
critter.
in position to assist.
This guy sees Rao down below him being a problem, and he was up here trying to be a shield. He is going to let go and fall on top of Rao.
Isn't Rao a
That's gonna
hero right
work
now?
Yes.
very
It's
well.
not gonna work well.
He doesn't know
Yes.
that though.
I just picture an elbow drop into cement and a broken
The,
arm.
the yeah, that's essentially what
It's
happens
like I
here.
stole
So
a
he's up there pretty big. It was like a 50-foot top, and he turns sideways, and it's this spindly arm thing that comes out and drops, and it's looking like the people's elbow, only far gaunter, as it comes down with meteoric force and passes through Rao as though a hologram, to end up on the floor, wherein he takes damage to the extent of this amount. Actually, I should use the actual fall damage for him. Let's do that. Fall damage.
And this, kids, is why you don't do the superhero job.
Begin calculating fall damage at 10 feet, so he's got 4. It's in adventuring. It's right over here. Just gotta get to it. There you go. Experience. Scaling. Throwing. Environmental. Falls between 30 and 30 feet. Falls in excess of 30 feet. Oh god. He actually survives. If only just. So it plummets downward, falls straight through. I don't know if they're necessarily built to feel shock or anything like that, but it's a rather unceremonious splat on the ground that takes place. But its broken body, moving and twitch and jerks, pulls itself back upward as it arrives on the ground. There is a kind of narrow-eyed peering taking place from the other creature that was attached to the wall, the leader beast, and it kind of just goes, apparently that doesn't work. That's his first one. He's prone. He'll have to pick himself up with the second one. He is going to attempt
Apparently the people's elbow is not mighty enough.
Yeah. His third, he will attempt an attack on Rao, which will fail. So he goes for the swing and passes through.
Did you want to roll that?
Well, I think we know, because apparently my poker face failed. By the way,
Can
you're
critical
still
hits
stealth.
hit ethereal opponents?
Can what?
Can critical hits hit ethereal opponents?
I might have to do that actually.
That's an amazing idea.
Yeah, that's not a bad
You
plan.
hit so
I like
hard, you transcend reality.
Critical failure, he just destroys the wall behind him and
Yeah.
takes out the leader.
It's not a bad. Yeah. So originally the thought for the properties thing was just going to be that like if you had a boon or a fault or something there, then the negative attributes wouldn't affect your attacks in terms of like complicates and stuff like that. But it felt like that was negating too many bonuses, so I didn't do it. But there might be something to allowing you to strike on lucky dice no matter what's going on with the anime. That might be kind of fun. Maybe we'll do
Yeah,
that.
you know, rolling two max 12s. That's you kind
Yeah.
of want it to be cool.
Yeah, so that crit section actually that's been pulled out right now specifically because the way it's currently factored. If max dice was the goal, it's easier to get max dice if you're worse at it.
The lower die.
Yeah. So and actually rolling 2 12s is kind of tough to do, at least in shooting. I don't know that it's even possible currently. All right, so this guy over here. The building has come down. I think it's time to move a car again.
No, the cars are under the rubble. You can't move the cars.
I think he is going to move this way.
I mean, he's got other cars.
4, 5.
Rick Ocasek does not approve of this
Here
plan.
in my car, I'll throw it real
10,
far.
barely. He is going to scream outward past Penny. It ripples over here toward Bick, past Bick, and there is a shaking that takes place. Bick, do a dodge save.
Is he shake, shake, shake?
Difficulty 6.
Man, it's a bad day to be Penny.
Difficulty 6.
Oh, don't worry.
Dodge saves are...
It's going to be 2d8 plus 6. So they've gone from being d10s to d8s because d8s are the standard for being equal difficulty. Also because our evade scores are lower than they used to be. So
2d8 plus 6?
yeah.
If you have a simplify or complicate on those, though, does it upgrade still?
What does it currently say?
Hey,
Because I think at least one person I know has a simplify for endure checks and stuff.
I think Dan is
I am under my evade.
So it upgrades and downgrades the dice like any check. Because now that the
But it
dice
is
can be
under.
upgraded and downgraded. Yeah. Okay, so you have made it. You were able to get out of the way. So pick a. I think you can only go in this direction because the door over there is closed. So you gotta
Which direction is
scoot
that
down this way.
direction?
Also, are you supposed to add difficulty to the check? Or it was only a plus 6?
Yeah, he added the 6.
Okay.
All right, how far does this thing go? Six.
It's not coming to Penny. It's
1,
not
2,
coming to
3,
Penny.
4, 5, 6.
No, it's not, Sam.
It's not coming to Penny because it can't come to Penny because Penny's not here.
It's really talented.
This thing comes screeching by, Sam, and mere inches before entering your personal bubble, screeches to a halt. So now
I don't want to alarm anybody, but I feel very threatened right now.
there's the wall has fallen down on one side. You're boxed in by the car on the other side. It's all bad for Sam at the moment. Francois, there's a building on top of you. Again, 3rd time this week.
Oh, yes. Let's see. Am I able to just like let it slide off my back as
There's a
reaction,
fair
or-
amount of rubble. You're prone, so you're gonna have to try to push up, and it'll take an athletics check to get out of there.
Oh, okay. Yes, I will
Rise out of
do
that rubble like an Adonis.
I'm gonna say that it is
I'm
difficulty.
gonna punch my way out.
You can do that as well. Did you had enhanced strength, right?
I don't remember.
It's
actually.
the surgery that was like physical.
Physical enhancement.
Yeah,
I think I've got that.
physical enhance. All right, I believe this does something for getting out of stuff.
Let us double check.
It gives extra weight, I believe.
Yeah, it gives you extra weight on it. So I'll let you simplify
Plus 50
the
per
check.
land
Yeah.
mark.
So it'll be a difficulty 2. What's your body score?
Body score is 5.
Okay, so you are 3 points above the difficulty, which is 2. So according to the chart there on page 1, at 3 points above, you're rolling d12 plus d10. And you will add your athletics score to it.
And athletics. All right.
Do you have a boon in athletics?
Yes.
Oh, then you can do it in a
Do you want to
fancy
do
way.
this silently? Or you could have it succeed on a 10 instead of a 12.
I think succeeding on a 10 instead of a 12.
All right.
No, get a 10% discount from it.
You should totally get a 10%. You do 10%
Perform it
with
in a
more
way that is
bricks.
untraceable.
I think you might need some more.
Francois just goes,
Listen,
"I
I'm not
was
trying to
never here."
overcomplicate it, okay?
Okay, so wait, it was a detailed 10, and what else am I adding? Was it?
Your athletic score.
My athletic score, which I guess is just 3.
Mhm.
All right.
You want to succeed on a 10, I take it?
Yeah.
All right,
Watch
well,
out.
you made it anyway. So bursting out of the rubble, Francois charges up.
Screaming.
I assume
I was
that
gonna say it wouldn't have been suitable to do it
he
silently.
he
so
went
the other
down
crew,
like
Francois would
this,
scream.
you know, to block, and comes back up the same way, just both claws up in the air.
And then I like scream something like I don't know, whatever my company name is, and then you should buy my merchandise.
Buy more stuff! Power
Yeah.
slap.
Can I have a free action high five?
I don't think you
Can I
can.
reach
Well,
you?
no, you got the little claws down at the bottom, so yeah, but you have to high five one of the creepy little claws.
Yeah, touch
That's
my little
fine.
claws.
That's fine, high five.
High 5, low 5.
Mhm.
All right. So
For
what
some
was that?
reason,
That
I'm
was-
reminded of Slurms Mackenzie going out the way he lived. Like it's just popped into mind.
All right. So this guy in the back here is the one that's been doing the screaming.
All of those particular type of critter have. They are basically they look like they were soldiers or civilians, but they've been bent backwards and their heads are all crushed into their helmets, and they're basically crab walking. But they've been letting up these big kind of skeletal shrill screams that are causing the walls to fall over and the.
I thought we agreed that we weren't gonna say crab walking now that we have a shrimp in the party.
Yeah, rude.
They're
That
Resident
never
Evil
agreed.
boys. That's all
I don't recall regretting that at all.
Let's see.
Okay, it's a crustacean migration.
So let's see. So am I
Even
able
ruder.
to then move over here and get ready to punch this guy in the mouth?
I believe
Alright.
you can. Oh, do you have enough movement? Okay, because you're in difficult right now.
Oh shit. Probably not then. I don't know.
What is your movement?
6. How much are each of the
2,
tiles?
2
Just
if you're in
two
difficult.
each.
Yeah.
2, 4, 5, 6. It's okay. I'll get him next turn. Or I
Or
can
you can
get
try
that
you
guy.
can try stunting down.
Oh, what's that?
It's you can bypass the terrain by performing a stunt action, but if you fail the check, you'll fall.
Also,
I
if you
have to do a
the
stun in
technique-
Francois.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an athletics
You
check.
have a, also, if you have the technique difficult terrain.
I don't have anything for difficult
Okay.
terrain.
Okay.
All right, so go back to where you were,
All right.
and then
Hello,
tell
that-
me
I
how
am
you wish to do
Mantis.
this. What stunt do you want to perform?
Alright. So
Okay.
I'm gonna yell at Buddy to like cup his hands and then like fling me back over him.
Okay.
Yes.
So
and
it's
then I'm gonna like jump like I'm jumping off the ropes in a
okay.
wrestling
I
match.
just wanted you to step on his head and leap
Yes, I was
across.
in actuality, as he can't do anything, she's going to be stepping on.
That's fine. That's
works.
fine. No permanent damage.
All right,
None
so
permanent damage. It hasn't already been done. It's fine.
difficulty 3. I bumped up the
Alright.
difficulty on stunts because we were just passing them far too often, so it's making terrain
Okay.
useless.
So that's she has an wait, she has a body of
She-
5?
Yeah, she has a body
A
of
body
5.
of 5.
Yeah, so you're
Two
2
above.
above. And
So
that
that's the
D10 plus
the
D10.
D12. Oh, D10 plus D10. Okay.
Yeah.
I should probably open that sheet while I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Can I
Yeah.
just-
Yeah.
Big one.
I'm going to that page too. Make sure I'm on it. And do you have a boon in athletics?
I do. Do I get to use it only once, or do I get to use it every time?
Yeah, every time.
Pass on a 10. Pass on a 10.
Yeah, I can pass on a 10,
Yeah.
or I can get a 10% discount.
10 discount.
He regrets writing down some of these things.
You say that, but we haven't gotten to a shop yet. So.
Wait, why are there 2 rolls?
No, that was the
Oh,
early one
that
you
was
did.
my last one.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so you
So
can
you
go
succeed.
for it. Yeah.
Alright, so she makes it.
I make it down here.
Good job, Francois. You're a strong man, Shrimp.
That was.
Oh,
Now you can attack!
Yep, you can get
I
your.
thought I. Okay, yeah. Now
You
I get
did-
the-
you've
that was
done
your one
two, yeah.
action to move, so, right? Or is that
okay.
two?
Yes. I'm gonna go for glory now that I've thrown myself out of the rubble. Scream the name of my company, and mushroom jumped off of Buddy down here. I'm gonna haymaker this thing.
Alright.
So when I'm making a melee attack, I decide before rolling the dice that I deal double the damage, but this is the only attack that I can make on this turn.
It's a good plan.
It's a good
because
choice right
This is the
now.
take you
I'm
got.
gonna
This is,
stuff
this is
its
your last
mouth.
action.
Yeah, I'm gonna stuff its mouth full of my gloves
Fair enough.
so that it cannot scream anymore. Alright, so
I
I'm
see only good
attacking.
things.
I don't think my meteor gauntlets change.
No,
I
yeah.
think that
So
one's still 2.
right. So it's whatever it's written on the thing. If there is a thing written on the thing, which it probably isn't, because the gloves are all close combat based. Otherwise, it's the D4. So your body score is a 5 versus his body score, which is a 3. So you're 2 above him. So it's the same as the last check you did, D10 plus D10.
Alright, but instead of the 3, it's my CQC, right?
Yeah, it's your melee attack bonus, which is probably equal to your C2C
Oh.
score unless you've boosted it in some way.
Oh no, it's 7.
Okay.
Unless it's wrong, but I don't
No,
think
It's
it's
probably
7 because
seven.
it's 2 from your notoriety and 5 from your body.
Okay. Alright, so then it's yeah, okay. So here I go, getting ready to punch this guy as hard as possible.
Do it!
And
Murder
haymaker
him.
style.
You got him.
Yeah, rears back and just like socks this thing right in the mouth. Like gloves, everything. What was that about my gloves exploding?
So I think.
First roll D+.
Let me see what triggers that.
Opens.
When you're at least 20 is rolled for damage.
For
Right,
damage.
for damage, yeah.
Yep.
What
So
you
you
did?
gotta roll damage now.
Yeah, you haven't rolled damage yet.
Alright.
No, does she roll damage twice, or does she damage what? Does she double what she rolls?
She doubles what she rolls.
So that's still the same, right? It's the 2d10.
Yep.
Yeah, it's whatever's written on the card.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm heavy-handed, so I'm getting 2d10.
yeah, it's 2d10.
Mhm.
Plus 10.
Plus
Plus
7?
7. Mm-hmm. Whoa.
44 damage, and they do explode indeed.
No,
And they
it's got to
explode.
be 20 roll on the dice.
Oh, on the die.
yeah,
on the die.
It's 2
Right,
minus 10s, yeah. But it's still a big hit.
Okay.
Alright, so he
It's
hasn't
still
attacked yet.
pretty hard hit. Yeah.
D4.
He at least probably took a wound. If not 2. I just like how Francois just
Oh, wow.
like rages out of this pile
Oh,
of
shit.
rubble, stomps on Croquette's head, flings himself over, and just like swings into this poor thing.
Yes.
Okay.
I see a lot of green. What happened?
Well, I rolled max on something, but I need to find out how the criticals are working now, if they even are.
He gets an attack back because you're in melee.
Yeah.
You swung at him, so he swings back,
I see.
and so he's seeing how well he did.
If there are any additional properties to the attack, I'd like to know what they are, and then I got something for that.
Okay. He misses, which is a thing. I think I know what I need to do about it, though. I has a plan.
You have a plan.
I do has a plan, yes. I do has a plan. Okay, so he despite a sterling attack, just isn't good enough to hit you. So he misses off on it. So you do your attack, which was 44, right?
Yes.
Alright, that will wound him twice.
Also, what would her boon do for this?
It means that she gets to reroll ones without having to
that's
bump
right.
into twos.
Oh, nice.
Okay, and that's it for your turn, I think. That was 3 actions.
Yes, that is all.
Okie dokie. This guy over here. He's too far away. I got Croquette over there. Let's try to drop a car on Croquette. And Bep while we're here. He is going to give this one a shove. He screams at the car over here and flips it directly onto the next car. That's like just
Aren't those
flops
still
over.
underneath rubble?
Yeah, that's extra hard.
Bep is free!
Bep is free or crashed. Both you guys can do dodges. I'm going to say difficulty, they're right there, plus you got the rebel on top of you. Difficulty 8.
Okay. Bep is free!
Bep is free.
Bep, go over here.
So since I have a made simplify, I downgrade one of those to a D6.
Right, yeah, do 6 and D8. Plus the 8.
Oh shit, I have an athletics simplifier. I should have remembered that.
This guy flips upside down, which I guess I'll just do it that way. Why not? All the rebel kind of schlumps downward in a little hill, and Bep is able to break free. Bep, as you're kind of looking around, you can now see on the inside Nis, which was the XNF that was hanging out with you guys, has kind of staggered upright and is kind of hiding behind the table a little bit, looking outward. Seems to be all right, recovered a bit. I was about to call you Tankard. Bix dad is not to be seen, but you kind of vaguely hear sounds coming from the far side of the room, kind of out of view, like he might be over there. Various noise. Bick, you are up.
Okay.
A car has just skidded past you.
All right. So I am scooching back. And I am popping off another shot at El Controlo.
Is it an overdraw shot?
Oh yeah. So, what is the difficulty on this?
It's 2 for the regular shot. Do it. He doesn't have any cover because his guy dropped down. So you're just going against his evade.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to figure out the difficulty, what dice I'm rolling. So,
So you're comparing that 2 to your mind score. What's your mind score?
3.
All right, so you're one above it.
D8 plus D10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Plus your range attack bonus.
D10. This character sheet. Range attack bonus is 5, and then the weapon score.
The weapon's accuracy is still a D3. That's probably going to get changed to an actual number. I think I did, and it didn't save. But make it a D3 for now.
Plus D3. All right. And I am going to use my boon to reduce the difficulty to 10.
It only does one thing in combat. It allows you to reroll 1s without having to bump them to 2s.
Oh.
That's just the function of a boon in combat. Pretty good. He is not quite hit. It goes zipping past.
We rolled a 2.
Do you have any more readiness?
Yes.
Okay.
What's that?
Do you have any more readiness?
Oh yeah.
Alright, reroll the 2.
I've got a few more points. That was a D8.
Not quite.
Nice.
Still a hair below. So the arrow goes and shoots into the building next to him and chunks out a big section of concrete.
And I'm going to do my last thing, which is move, and I'm going to move to here.
Okay. Are you in
done.
front of it or on top of it or what?
I'm next to it.
Okay. Row.
Yes.
A creature has fallen from above and blessed you with its presence. It tried to swipe at you and failed and was very distraught about it.
but the other guy is still way up high.
Yep.
Alright. I don't. Oh, right, yes. I have neutral buoyancy, so I treat it almost like 0G. So, or as a spacer, this is going to work out for me. And I'm just going to start swimming up.
Goodbye, tentacle monster. May you rejoin the sky gods.
Which I believe is half your normal movement speed for swimming.
I thought we found out he went normal last time.
No, we found out he didn't go 1.
Oh, that's right. Because he didn't have the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking for it right now. You know, I might not have a base swim speed. I have a few things that do better than base swim speed.
Yeah, I don't think we actually have anything that says what swim speed is other than unless it like ruins you.
Swim speed. That's a thing.
Yeah, you've got a few cog frames that mention swim speed, and by a few I mean
3.
Literally everyone except for Tentacled and Base.
Yeah.
But
and they say you can move 1.
Right. We don't have the base speed in it. It should probably be half. It's typically half. All right. So you swimming upward?
Yeah, I'm gonna swim upward. Yep. How high above us was he again?
He's been 50 feet up.
50 feet. Alright, so.
What's your movement speed?
7.
Okay, so you'd be going 4 per dude, which is like 20 feet, 21 feet. So you can get up there one round, if you get a bonus action.
I guess I should roll for the bonus action. Yeah.
Do you have a boon in athletics? If so, I think you should say that you can move silently right now.
As opposed to the normally incredibly loud motions of an ethereal creature swimming upward.
I do have a boon in athletics.
I'm sorry, I just thought that was funny.
But I definitely cannot use that boon.
Well, you don't have to make a check for this. You're just swimming upward.
Okay.
Like,
There's not much chance of drowning.
The third action, though, he has to roll for that, right?
Yeah, but that's 2d10 trying to get under his initiative score.
Yeah, it's 2d10 plus something, isn't it?
No,
Wait,
it's just the
2d10 trying to get under my initiative score.
Yeah, it's tough. Tough for yours.
That is going to be really rough for you.
So I'm not gonna try.
You're not gonna try that. All right, you get up close.
For some reason, I just
you just don't feel motivated, right?
I'm gonna get that.
Oh wait, you've got like crazy reach now, don't you? Because didn't you get macro?
Yeah, he has like a 2x reach.
Yeah,
now.
you're in attack range at that point. If you go 2, you'll reach him.
Yeah, but you're ethereal, and you don't want to not be ethereal right now.
Yeah, until you attach to the wall, I recommend you. Yeah, that's the thing. Actually, that's kind of a tricky thing in general. So, like, you can't like shove your tentacles into it because if you rematerialize, you'll die. So you kind of have to put yourself someplace that upon rematerializing, you will land.
Or be really close to a ledge and hope you can grab it.
Yeah, hope you can grab it.
Or I could rematerialize
above him. That's you could do that. You could be like, this is how you do the elbow drop with no elbows.
Witness me, smack.
Will the Drax just drop a macro on him?
Yeah.
Yes. It will.
God, that was horrific when you came out of that 3rd-story window and killed that guy.
I just like how that is apparently an effective enough tactic that we're doing it again.
I mean, it killed the
Have you
guy.
Use real weapons? I don't think so.
No,
We
drop
have
macros on them.
gravity.
So, do you have anything you can use your third action for?
He can't do a third action, really. I think.
Well, he
can
can
do
a
a
third
support,
action.
Yeah, I
It can't be a
can,
movement.
but I don't really have anything I can do with it, so
You gonna chill there for now?
pass on.
You're gonna support action, wiggle tentacles happily.
Wait a minute, did he not get his move? Oh shit, he's not in the initiative.
Oh, yeah.
The boss.
Oh.
You took him out of the initiative?
Oh.
I guess you just really hate him, Svi.
That must be it. Alright, well, let's give him an initiative. Rather than putting him right in there, because that'd be kind of cheaty.
Well, I think previously all he's been doing is just shrieking and then people do stuff.
Now he's a 7.
I think it was kind of mastermindy.
There we go.
Okay.
Alright. Sam, you're up. You have kind of limited sightlines right now. There's like a mountain of rebel to one side and a car to the other.
I don't like anything that's going on with my life right now.
Help me punch this thing, tiny fighter.
I don't punch.
Bep is like, Bep, no punch. Where is Bep? Oh, there's Bep. Okay.
Hey, Francois, punch it extra for me. I'm gonna use my thing and command Francois. Yeah. And I think Francois is the only person I can see. That's fine. I only rolled 1. Oh, yeah. So Francois is gonna get a free ability to just keep rolling attacks next turn.
I actually
don't
know that you can. Oh no, you can't see Francois. Sorry, I was looking at Bep. Sorry, you're fine.
Yeah, I can see Francois. I can see Francois.
Yeah.
As an aside, that's what I should have been able to do last time.
Huh?
Oh.
That's what I should have been able to do.
You still hit him anyway. You hit him fine.
Yeah, okay, and then let's see. Yeah, because I'd given Croquette it last time. But you basically can do 3 actions of the same type, Francois, without having to roll anything extra.
Okay, yeah.
And then, because that's my words of encouragement, my Bardy thing I can do. I'm going to try to shoot this guy, even though he's in combat with Francois, which means I might hit Francois.
Well,
these are things I'm willing to do.
If you shoot like you say you do, it probably won't do much to me.
It probably won't, and it probably will definitely hit you then. All right, so I have 3 in my mind score. Is the difficulty 2?
Yeah, difficulty's 2.
So that means I roll a d8 and a d10. Is that right?
You're a better shot than you used to be.
Yeah, I'm a slightly better shot.
Yeah, adding your range combat bonus.
Yeah. That.
Yeah, that one. That number.
I have that.
Ooh.
Okay, so that's what you hit. So now the question is, because it's actually when you're firing into combat, it's random. It's 50% chance that you're going to hit the ally.
Yay!
You just got to find out who's going to be in front of the bullet while they're tussling with each other over there.
But it's basically if it hits their evade, then
I have really large biceps. I would understand.
I won't be able to hit Francois with that.
Right, so Francois will dodge. Now we just got to find out if the other guy was in the way. So high or low, Francois?
Low.
Okay, low it is you. Low. Okay, so the bullet goes sneaking by Francois just overhead and misses.
Alright, well, I am going to shoot again because I used command for my first. I can do 2 shoots. So shooting again. I'm pretty sure that misses both of them.
No, the 16 will hit him.
I hit him! I hit him!
Second bullet goes flying by. Francois ducks to the side, and the bullet hits the baddie.
For flavor, instead of that, can we say that I grab the thing and then just like move it sideways in front of me to be hit by it?
No, you may not grab the bullet and hit him with the bullet. That's not fair.
Oh.
All right, I'm going to roll my damage now. You're gonna be so impressed. Look at my giant damage table.
Nice. It was so close, Sam. It was so close. Do you? So close.
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, I don't. I spent all my readiness on my initiative. I have no readiness right now. I did that last game.
All right. That was your third action?
That was my third action.
All right. He soaks the attack. So he goes.
All right. I shoot him, and it's like nothing happens. Oh.
Bep, you're up.
Okay, Bep was one with the rubble, but now the rubble was gone because of Francois. Is my field of you okay?
It's okay. You can't see over the car because the rubble kind of heaps here in the middle, so you don't know where Sammy is. But you can see Francois. You can probably see what she's fighting with, and you can see everything going on over here.
Bep is going to use the command damage control combo to do healing at ranged.
Okay.
1d3. How many people can I heal? 2. Perfect. I'm going to choose myself and Francois. She's. I don't actually know what the flavor of this is, Fee.
It's kind of whatever you want. Use your heal beam.
Okay,
surely you have a heal beam.
Mouth opens. There's a loud whirring sound, and just a rolled up bandage gets fired.
I'd like to say disinfection in progress.
You have like one of Anna's darts. Just shoot it out of some orifice.
It sounds like she's about to say Bep emergency procedure, but it's just Bep. And then she just sort of pats herself a bit. Francois gets this many wounds back. 1 and gets 1.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I don't know why, but I can see this bandage just literally sticking to Francois' head.
Yeah, it's just really wet and sticky.
Doing it takes up 2 actions, and then she is going to yell, "Please do not throw cards at Bep!" And then the public placation deafening noise starts up in this direction.
Goes again.
Which I'm sure with the 10x10 cone I can hit everybody.
Yeah, you won't hit the guy 50 feet up, but you'll hit the other
fine.
guys. The folks on the ground.
Alright, they are resistant to this, right?
Yeah. Were the dogs?
I know you fucked me over with the Sonic stuff last time with them, so I think they are.
He wasn't. Okay, no, they were. Yeah. So one of them wasn't resistant to it. Was the guy up on the wall. The other ones were.
Okay.
So half damage.
2d8. Nice. Yeah, I don't think it's worth me firing.
If it makes you feel better, it's not worth me firing either.
Yeah. And that's my turn. Yeah, but at least if you fired 3 times them, your damage could stack. Mine actually goes down.
Yeah,
it does. But if you had a decent attack on the first one and then a decent on the second, you'd still do enough to wound him, and you'd be wounding 2 things. I don't have a single
D8 on the second one.
I know, but their endure's only 19. You can do it. All right, the one that's over here. Wait a minute. When did he take a 5th wound? Was that last turn?
Which one?
The one right in front of you?
Talking about?
Yeah.
That one just got hit. He took a wound from the thing, and then I hit him.
Oh, then he punched him? Okay, yeah. He went down. I forgot to mark him.
Should be dead.
Yeah. He went down, and I forgot to mark him. This guy's down. This guy's okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is going to actually move forward. Scuttle, 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 scuttle. There is a low warbling howl like it's going to use the ability to get him, but instead it just kind of latches onto you like a frickin' vice and goes for the bite.
It's attacking Bep.
It is attacking the Bep.
Look out! Oh wait, I can't see Bep. Never mind. Oh no, rocks are in my way!
So this is body versus body now, right?
Yep.
Okay, I've got a
3. So okay,
right,
we're
so
even
D8.
Slash roll.
Plus, what is my...
I am kind of digging this being more based on your body and your mind a bit more. I like this so far.
It's quicker.
Right. There's my swing.
We forgot.
It does not hit me.
Okay. I actually forgot to do it's what's the jiggle?
Weapons
Mab.
and stuff?
No, it does, yeah, it's melee attack bonus.
Now, I will tell you, Sri, just to be fair to the DM, if you roll 1 higher, you hit me. So if you've got any points to spend...
I'm just making sure that it is. So there's the 2. There's the 3... No, that is its melee attack bonus right there.
Yeah.
I did do everything.
You want to bump that 7 up?
I do have points to spend, so I'm gonna bump the D4, or I'll bump the 7 up to the 8 to get it.
Yeah. That hits me.
Alright, so he goes for the attack.
Crunch, 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 crunch. Stuffing is going to go everywhere. Glitter and stuffing, because I'm pretty sure that Beps are basically made in a building Build-A-Bear facility. They're filled with used insulation and teddy bear stuffings and like a large helping of glitter. Yeah.
Build-A-Bep station.
10 to damage.
Build-A-Bep station. Oh man, I want Generico to have Build-A-Bep stations. Can that be canon, Allie?
Goes for the second attack?
22. Oh wait, was it 10 to damage roll?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
They have
second
like
attack.
little Build-A-Bep stations, and you can like record sayings
I'll
for Bep.
Roll back.
Bep out of box.
Man, Bep is not a melee fighter. You have done a wound to me.
Okay.
The Build-A-Beps are really the saddest of all Beps because they never had Mom Box.
Oh no, that's tragic.
They all know about Mom Box, but they never got to have one.
Never heard it. What is your D8? D8. 3. Ali, what are you attacking with?
Hands.
Okay, so
And
you get
with
the...
nothing on them.
But you still get the D4 for the weapon skill in the hands.
Okay, well, here's the D4 for the first one. So 13 and a 13.
Okay, it wouldn't matter. You were close,
Yeah.
but no cigar. D4, 4, 2 hand. Just adjust that guy down. I think one of the things that's probably going to happen is I'm going to limit the number of diminishing dice for being below a target. Because it starts to get just too far down.
Mm.
So rather than it being a completely equal scale up and down, it'll be like an equal scale going up, and then 1 or 2 points below it goes down, and then it bottoms out before going all the way down to 4s and stuff. Okay, that's it for him. Croquette, somebody has been mauled on the side here. She made a squeaky noise.
I'm going to and I am going to punch.
Bep assist. Default.
Both of you hit in a combined assault.
Bep is winner.
Oh shit! What is unarmed damage?
2d8 if you haven't done
2d8.
anything, yeah. Plus
Oh,
plus
two.
whatever your melee attack bonus is.
Plus 3
Oh.
plus my super strength, so that's 10.
The
Oh,
cam
oh,
is-
oh!
Is that okay?
What's that?
What?
What?
Oh, just the cam on the website broke.
Oh, I still see it.
I still see
Oh,
it. Might
the
just need to
hit
refresh.
refresh.
You can
Sometimes
actually
roll
just
20.
you can just refresh it in the options. There's a reconnect button beneath the options.
Oh, I just hit refresh.
Right, Bep damage.
Okay.
These little things absolutely go.
But I need the combined, like, both at once with the Fists of Glory that gleam in the background as they both strike simultaneously with the exact
I
same
want them to
damage
crunch
total.
it, like from one side to the other, like smash its face together.
Now, Sweet, have you seen the super robot old man in Yashiki fighting? It's
Wait.
old man fighting, but it's super strength.
Noodle arms.
20, that's 2 damage to it. So. And that was round the first. It swings back at Croquette.
Oh my god.
See, return fire. That's definitely.
Yeah, no, I didn't quite succeed.
Oh.
All right,
Swing
Croquette, your
again.
second attack. Yep, pretty good. Oh god, they strike again. You guys need to be doing the same moves.
That is max die.
Whoa!
Max
Me, and that's kind of
die.
impressive.
She rolled really like, yeah, wow.
Max damage on its own doesn't do it. It has to be an exploit attack for it to be super
I
great.
do find it funny though, Kronos, that her combined total bonus and your combined total bonus are the same, but she has to use super strength to get there.
I am completely untrained
So
and
when you get super
unarmed,
strength,
but I'm
it's
super
just dumb.
strong.
I believe that is the remaining 3 because there was change on the first one, so that brings it up to 5.
Bep looks up at Croquette and lifts the nub up. It may look like she's trying to give a thumbs up, but she doesn't have a thumb.
Instead, it becomes a nub bump. Well done, small warrior. Its head goes flying off in a tunk, 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 toward the other one.
Bep, that one may be injured. Medical assistance.
Bep is helpful.
Whoa, buddy, you've got some awesome friends.
The one on the ground here, still boggled, attempts to look, looks back up at the thing that has transferred through it, realizes there's a long climb to get there. Can I get over any place useful? Yeah, 1,
Come
2,
and get
3,
me.
4,
Or croquette. One of the
7,
two.
8. All right, that's 2 moves.
He's flipping him off, but you can't tell because he's wearing boxing gloves.
I suppose
We
there's
basically
a
have two
chance I can
characters
hurt
where you
you.
can't tell what they're doing
Yeah.
because Bep has no fingers and Francois has boxing gloves.
All right, comes over here to do an attack on Francois with his buddy helping him out.
Nub club.
Nub gloves.
You are a 5, right? Yep, 2 is 3.
Yes.
Let's roll 2d16.
Hit him hard.
What are there any other stats of mine that you need to know?
No.
It's
I'm
just the
going for the
body.
attack.
I flex my abs and brace for impact.
Goes it. And then his friend goes for the attack and only has the 3. 15 and a 14. Both miss. You get to swing
Yeah.
back at the guy who's attacking at you.
Which is the red dude.
That's the guy
Okay,
over
is
here.
that just
Swing.
like a normal
Yeah.
normal swing?
Attack.
Everybody gets to
Okay.
fight in melee.
Alright. So it's attack.
Their difficulty is a 2?
Ooh.
No, it's a 3.
Oh, it's a 3.
So you're 5.
Yeah,
So
it's
you're a
a
D10 plus D10 rather than D12
Okay.
plus
Oh,
D10.
okay.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me redo that.
Yeah. I think that was what she was asking.
Yeah. Alright. Plus 1d10 plus the d4 from the gloves,
Yeah,
right?
the D4
Yeah,
is
the
the
D4s
little
are
attack,
from the
yeah.
gloves, and the
Alright.
7 is your attack
Yep.
bonus.
Ba-bow. Oh, Jesus.
Even better.
Even better.
You do hit.
Somehow better, but also somehow kind of worse.
Yes.
Does that hit?
Yeah, that hits.
Roll damage.
Oh, okay. I think
Hurt
this one
them.
should be fine.
Yeah, that's the same.
Okay.
Strike.
Oh
hit.
That
my
never
God.
changes.
That'll do it. He comes over, goes for the swing, and you proceed to punch him back several steps to previous events in his life. He goes over
Goodbye,
here.
buddy.
I
Splat.
gave him the 1 too.
Yep, you did. Or
Nice.
just the 1, as the case may be.
Glorious glove impact.
Check. He's out. That leaves us with this guy here.
I shot him. Oh wait. Oh yeah. Never mind. That's right.
It is this
Francois'
guy's
turn.
turn.
Francois gets 3 attacks. That's right.
Yeah.
He's going to go for the distance. I think he's going to head over this way.
No, stay. Stay with Francois. Stay.
Don't
No, he
repeat
doesn't
my
know where to
threatened
do that.
square.
I kind of can't. I think I need to use what I got.
No.
It turns this way. And with a mournful howl.
Oh shit!
Well, were there 2 cars there?
Well, the other one was on top of it.
Off the
Yeah.
other.
Oh my God!
Knowing that it
Swinging.
is outclassed in close combat with no means of hitting the enemy, it goes with what it knows, which is throwing cars.
Oh, it's a reflex
I-
save, right?
It is a dodge. I'm going to attempt to hold you.
Or you could stay here and swing at it, right?
Yeah, it's
'Cause it
true.
is in close combat
It's
with
true.
her.
If you want to just
Yeah.
take the hit from the car, you could punch him while he's pulling this.
Or can I just hold him down and let him get hit by the car?
Well, he was going
Well,
to
he-
anyway.
He's,
He's not trying to get out of the way. Yeah.
Basically, your choice
Oh.
is try and get away, or,
Or you can punch him too.
stay and punch him, but get hit.
Fuck, I'm gonna stay and punch him.
All right, go for the
He
He
punch.
made his bed, he's gonna lay in it and then
Yeah.
lay on the car.
Don't worry,
Or under
Beth
the
can
car.
heal you.
I'm gonna tuck him in with this BMW.
Beth
whatever.
has purpose, I'd like to point out.
Alright, go for the attack.
Alright,
I
that was
admire
the D10,
dedication to
D10.
not-
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Okay, I can't
That's
tell when
it.
I'm supposed to be rolling over anyway. Like, what
We
am I?
don't know. We don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's the enemy's defense score.
It's basically we're trying to hit a boss in like D&D. You never know what their attack
Gotcha.
thing is,
Yeah.
their
All right.
armor score is.
You do hit though.
But you hit. Yay.
Excellent. Now damage.
So, damage. Kill it. That would be amazing if you kill it.
Hold on. Is this my turn or its turn?
It's
Its
its turn, but
Okay.
it did an action rather than attack you, and since you were in a fight with it, you get to capitalize on that.
Got you.
Nice.
And which will wound it.
And now it's gonna get hit with the
Now,
power.
now it pulls in. So,
Is that a threat response attack?
No.
no. Yeah, threat response is when an enemy travels within 2 squares of you that wasn't there before.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So if they're coming in for the charge or something like that.
Gotcha.
It brings the car in. It is not dodging. Neither are you. Both of you can take d6 wounds. Slash roll d6. Coming to the crab. Ouch.
Ow! Christ.
Coming to
It's
itself.
okay. I face
5.
tank it. It's
Oh, he's
Yeah,
dead.
he's quite squished against the wall, but he did manage to hit you pretty hard with it. So the fender comes flying inward, and you see it coming, and there's a brief calculation going, surely this would be better. And then you punch the guy on the ground as the car hits you. The crowd goes wild somewhere in the back.
I was like, from hell's heart, I
That
stabbed
would
at thee,
be-
but it really is just punch.
The impact will knock you into the adjacent building. It cracks the windows over here and spits you out on this side.
I'm such a badass.
So-
Francois just got like badass
No.
points. The pulse crowd is cheering digitally right now. We can't even see them, but they're like,
They're like
That
throwing
can no
their
longer
Twitch
see
bits
Francois.
everywhere.
yeah.
I
It
cannot see Francois. I cannot heal Francois.
slaps you against the table there as you fall backward. You have just enough time to, flash up to the camera. The claw.
Our toggles can't do anything on the space internet right now, but right now you're like getting like massive bit donations on
Yes,
Twitch.
massive. My mom donated $5. What else we got?
Francois, it is actually your turn. You are prone currently. So you have to spend
I'm
an
not
action getting
later.
up. Okay.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, it's your turn now. You can get up.
Yeah, I've got 4 hit points. So is that a move action to get up then?
Yeah, it's a move to get up.
All right.
The one under the car is dead, right?
Yeah, it's not moving anymore.
Cool. Okay.
I'm saying it's not Red X, so I'm terrified.
Ooh, and there's one, and those are the only 2 enemies that are left here.
The only 2 things still left on the board are the one that's over here and the guy up here who's pulling the strings.
I'm gonna look around. What's in this building that I'm in?
You've been knocked through. What is that? We had come out in kind of a strip mall thing in kind of a downtown area. You guys had come out through this pseudo restaurant that was over here. What else is going to be in a little strip mall across there? Yeah, it might be like a clothing store or something.
A clothing store?
Yeah, a variety of different objects over there. Actually, do a perception check, which is a little different than it used to be. In order to standardize it with the checks, it is now 2d8 plus the perception score, and you will note that the perception score is 1 through 5 as opposed to 3 through 15.
My perception score?
For body
Is it just
perceive.
mine?
Body perceive.
Oh, body perceive?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. Thank God it's not mind perceive. Alright, so 1d8
2d8.
plus 2, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, 2d8.
2d8 plus my body perceive.
Yeah.
Shapow!
Okay.
Uh-oh.
You don't perceive much.
Not good.
You were stunned pretty hard there. So there's some clothing and the place looks fairly empty beyond that.
You
Okay.
probably perceive that you have a windshield wiper stuck into your forehead.
What kind of car was it that got thrown? Is it just a regular?
Yeah, like a passenger vehicle, like whatever an Uber was over there or something.
Okay.
And Uber is a
well-
branded car now, apparently.
I'm going to I guess spend a turn climbing through the car or the hole if I can. I don't know how much.
Are you gonna climb on top?
Yeah, 1, 2. I'm assuming is the hole
Yeah.
big enough for me to get back out?
You can get out. It's difficult terrain. It's two
Two.
hexes a move.
3, 4. All right, and I'm gonna 5. Just hang out here for Bep 2. Hopefully, can you heal me?
Yeah, I can heal you.
Okay, do you want me to get closer?
No, I can do it at range.
Technically, I can do it too, so I might come running over and be like, heal thyself, heal thyself.
Okay, well then
I
I'll
think
stand.
there's a
I'll stand on this
limit.
dead body so I can be
Triumphantly, like,
If you
yeah.
try and steal Bep's job, Bep will cut you.
I was here before Bep.
If you try and steal Bep's job, Bep will cut you.
Bep will cut you.
Well, what if Sam's certified, like has like one of those certificates they give you for knowing how to do the Heimlich maneuver?
No, she's not.
I have
She doesn't have
first aid.
doctorate. You don't
I
have
have
doctorate.
medical. You don't have a doctorate. You're a freaking not even a person. You're a sub-people.
Oh, wow. Thanks for playing
Damn.
Detroit Become Human, everyone. Good night.
Well, she is.
I'm gonna break through these red walls.
You're a Debbie. You're not even a person.
Wow.
I'm gonna end my turn there. I think attacking.
End this conversation there. I think we're gonna move on up to the next
Hey,
guy.
you're says the creator who made Debbie's a thing.
Damn. Word. All right.
She's not
This guy up here.
people.
Okay,
She's a
so
cat.
our dude had stopped just shy of an
Mastermind.
attack, right?
Mhm.
It is time to do what all good bosses do in a time like this.
Run
Flee.
away.
Yeah.
But Rao is almost there.
Yeah, that
Actually, Rao
therein
is
lies
being
the problem.
ethereally.
It's true. We could make a swipe at him, but
Nothing will happen.
I am leaving. Marines, we're leaving. It begins to translate upward on the building and moves at pretty substantial speed. So its normal movement is going to be an 8, and it's going vertically on it. So that comes out to 32 feet, which, I don't know, how big is this building? It's like a... Yeah, that's probably enough to get to the roof. So he scuttles up and goes over the top side, disappears from sight. As he does so, dude over here looks a little disoriented. It is his turn currently. He is going to spend a turn orienting himself, or spend an action orienting himself. And he's got to go for the closest guy. So he goes for... Oh wait, Rao's up there. He'll try to bring down the building on top of Rao.
Okay.
I know, well, that's the problem with playing the dumb guy. He goes to do it. He succeeds, actually. There is another large rip as he pulls the building, grabs the big chunk of it on the front, pulls it down this way, the part that you were standing on, or standing in front of. It passes through you, lands downward. Oh, one hex away last time. Crap.
It hits him.
I'm going to try to get out of the way, but probably.
I will laugh if this thing kills itself.
Well, are you ready to laugh?
Wait. Now I'm ready.
Good. Start laughing.
Oh, that poor baby. Did it seriously kill itself?
Yeah, because it only had the 5 wounds and it did 8.
Oh.
Somewhere in Pulse headquarters, there are some very grumpy people right now because that was a glorious move on its account. It just pulled a building down on somebody who was 30 feet up. It would have
Yeah,
knocked
the
him
best
straight
part
to the
is this is
floor.
during rest period. They probably had the interns in charge of everything
Yeah.
right now. And then there's a sudden surprise combat, and they're like, oh my god, bonus action! And they're like, all this like frenzy, and then all of a sudden it's like, the intern's doing this really awesome move. And he effed it up.
The crowds are confused. You know, we don't know how people are feeling about this right now. Rao, the building has become less of a building. You can see inside of it now. It's probably an office.
Are we out of combat?
Yeah, we are out of enemies.
Is that Francois okay? Oh, butter biscuits. I don't know what's been going on. Vic, did that car hit you?
Vic's just like, what?
Are you alright?
Yeah.
Oh, good. There's like cars everywhere and the buildings were coming down. I thought for sure they were gonna get you.
I'm a coyote.
Well, that's nice to bring up. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
You can't kill us. No, I'm avoiding that reference.
Wiley?
Reference.
Wiley.
I think it's been done. Yeah, it's
Been
too
done.
late.
It's a
You
good
brought
thing
it.
I'm not a governor.
Hey, Francois, are you alright? You took that car awful hard.
What? What car?
Francois, it's very hot. Bep will help.
I have a
Concussion
perk.
is setting in.
I have a perk kit. Would that help?
Bep is a perk kit.
I don't know how I feel about that. How about I go look at getting us a nice cup of coffee and maybe some donuts. Kind of help take the edge off everything that just happened there. Raul, where are you? Raul, are you okay?
Oh, did you say food?
I was gonna get some donuts and some coffee.
Francois,
I like food.
I think there's a Tim Hortons near here.
please start swinging at me and missing deliberately, so we're in combat because my in-combat healing is more efficient than that. Healing.
Oh, he shoves very lightly.
So we are in combat round 2.
Yeah, you are in combat. However, you can only heal allies, and you're being attacked. So clearly, that's not an ally.
Let's break combat.
Alright.
Sammy, please stop.
Wait, no, Bep, punch you.
Francois will just reach out and like backhand croquette.
That was something
is
that was
If
something I
it's-
was going to bring up, Svi. Out of combat healing is actually way worse than in
It's
combat
because
healing.
there's supposed to be a limit to how many times you can use damage control.
That makes sense.
So don't make a medic.
Yeah.
Francois wants to know if Bep is qualified to heal internal bleeding.
Bep is indeed qualified. It will take about an hour.
So don't
Please come
bleed out.
inside.
Alright. I think I have an hour to live.
Gonna climb over the rubble.
Why don't we just go in the building with the hole that's not so...
Please
No,
follow
we-
Bep.
Alright. I'm just gonna... Can we go through here and then through here? Just punch a hole through the wall? I'm just gonna go through.
The door is open over there under the rubble. So.
Alright, I just didn't want to climb again.
How many wounds are you
Raul,
missing?
are you alright?
Is he still in the air?
He's way up there. Raul!
I'm just going to leisurely
Float down.
arrive on the ground and deactivate
The
the.
implant with
the
many
implant.
rounds left to spare. Possibly.
How many wounds are you missing, Red?
I'm currently at 4 hit points out of 14.
So you're missing 10. Okay, I will do a difficulty 5 check, Svi. Which I am mine 5, so that's D8.
If you fail, I don't take more damage, do I?
No.
Only
No,
if
it's
it
not
feels
like the old
really
rules where
bad.
somebody lost a leg or an arm.
Yeah, looking at you, Svi, give me back my arm.
I did.
Oh yeah.
Eventually.
Plus 5 for my medicine. I have a boon in this, so I'm just going to lower the difficulty to a
To
10.
give you some background, Red, there was a failed medical check when I was DMing the test, and
Okay, you
Zeb
get
took
10
Allie's arm.
Over this hour, you get 10 wounds back.
Yeah!
Well,
that's
I guess
awesome.
I'm not sitting... I mean, I'm sitting completely still, and I guess I'm not doing anything for that whole hour, so...
Bep licks her mechadendrites for some reason, antiseptic saliva go, and just starts prodding and poking with little blades and shit that come out of them.
Oh, you like that Steven kid. You lick stuff and good things happens.
No.
Yeah.
there
How
is
was your time?
the Nis that has been over here is will come around during the operation and kind of peek ahead and start going, what happened? I
got hit by a car.
How did
And
anybody get hit by
Raul.
anything? Who is this? What? How did we get here?
Is this not your relative?
No.
Can't you see the family resemblance?
Yes, they're both
He's in my body.
No, your
Versus, again,
buddy.
The proud thumb pointing itself, like really, really proud the fact he has a friend.
She appears to be kind of grabbing her head a little bit and going, we shouldn't. How did we even get into this? There we go. I had a token. I knew it was somewhere. Yeah, this is supposed to be downtime. We've completely blown our cover.
Oh, can you help me with the coffee and the donuts? That'd be great.
Sure.
We can't stay here now. This place isn't contained anymore.
I don't think it was contained previously.
It was if we hadn't left the building. She like kind of huddles down on the ground, looking out the side a little bit. We have to find a new place to hold up for the night.
But I thought we were on like 3 or 4 more hours of nobody gets to attack anybody time.
We just sacrificed it, she says in exasperation.
Oh, that's awful good to know. We're getting some coffee and donuts, and we've got to let Francois rest for a little bit while Bep does a little bit of an operation. But we can talk about where's the next place to go.
Cutting into exoskeleton.
Are there any what stores are up and down the street? Did you guys know, or you just haven't checked it?
I know there's a donut place about a half mile that way, but we left that yesterday when we broke into the mansion.
Oh, the coffee's gonna be cold.
Well, you print fresh. You don't just eat old printed coffee. That's not all right.
It's so
anyway.
She's going to be kind of pacing back and forth, rubbing her head.
Listen, Miss, calm down. I mean,
no,
it'll be fine.
The mall's nearby. The mall's the worst place to go. We shouldn't go to the mall at all. That's terrible. People always die in the mall.
Hey, where's Vic's dad?
Where's and she kind of looks back, and he has come back around from the side of the building, and go ahead and do a community perceive.
I do have, I have notoriety. That's only for community exert, I think, right?
What's the difficulty?
The perceive doesn't, it's like a hidden ability. It's like an AC rating. So you're trying to match his thing.
I have a 2 for community perceive.
Yeah, so it's 2d8 plus 2. Or 2d8 plus whatever your score is.
8 plus, is it for communication or what? Or stealth?
For community perceive? It's just to kind of get something from the guy. To kind of figure out what his attitude is and stuff. To notice something, essentially.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Pretty good for somebody who barely sees over the counter.
Yeah, Bep's busy. Croquette could conceivably look if he wasn't watching his friend be vivisected. Oh, okay, yeah. But Croquette sees the fat jolly old man come back on the other side.
Is there anything that would happen with my extra sensory perception stuff?
Not particularly. It's not really relevant to what you're doing. He comes back around and he's got this look of attempting to hide a clear and present worry. And he goes, well, let's see, you guys had quite a row. But did I miss it?
Yeah, your son did really good out there. Can I talk to you for a moment in private?
You can see the replay on Twitch.
While they're tending to the various wounded and entrails about, and we figure out where we're gonna go. I just want to have a chat with you.
All right. I do think we should probably get moving. It seems like
we definitely should, but I just I feel like I need to talk to you about something really quick.
Right. Oh, follow me. And he'll go over into there were like 3 rooms in that place. There was he'll go to the room where Bep was, the supply closet.
Okay. There's a Bep box in here.
There's a Bep box in here. No, there isn't. There's half a Bep box because you, like a monster, destroyed it.
I ripped it open enough.
Like a savage beast, just.
You destroyed the Bep box.
Just like Bep's
I opened it. I opened it like a child on Christmas.
Just
without a
so many short Beps on Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah. I like how he's like wheeling away from the computer to try to find something to use as a prop.
Svi, what is it?
Yes.
Oh.
Go on. What were you saying?
What is an episode? Svi? Is that a session?
Essentially, yes. Sorry,
okay.
I was just crushing Bep's dreams. If we could just, yeah.
What is this store's name?
The one that you're in now?
Yes.
Ripped Box. It's a discount store.
Okay.
Nice.
As Svi is working on as Bep is working on Francois, there is a little pause, a little clicking chime coming from her, and then I'm tapping into the emergency broadcast system for the city, Svi.
I actually don't know that it would be available.
Emergency channels?
Yeah, well, essentially because like
right
all things emergencies. Oh, you're trying to use the ability for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I do it.
What
I use the ability.
What are you trying to do with it though?
Talk over any PA system.
Let's see, channel.
Let's see. Could be a PA speaker system, or a wide blast talk message, or a direct IRPF information channel. Yada yada yada. So basically, I'm going for a public emergency system, or the closest thing to it.
New data output system. Tap to like public purpose to speak over it. Device transfer all systems connected to the emergency system. So you're in the strip mall. It's probably the local stuff. That'll basically get you the block.
Yeah, that'll do.
Okay.
Hello. Yes, I am Bep. Any injured people, please come to Ripped Box. Yes. Hello. This is Bep.
From the back room, going, no, what is going on? No, don't do that. What is? You just called, and the nurse is like, oh, you just called. I mean, we're gonna be bringing a lot of attention here.
Yes,
No, some of them. No, and she kind of huddles back down to the corner again, pulling the recently acquired clothing over herself in a attempt to hide.
Bep must help in an emergency. You don't need this, right? She says, holding up a indistinguishable squishy bit.
That ain't mine, ain't it?
It was in you.
That doesn't mean anything.
He like pats himself down. He's like, I don't think so.
Gets tossed aside.
This freaking Venture Brothers. About an hour ago, I coughed out something about the size of one of them little kiwi fruits, but I don't feel anything missing, so I'm not worried about it. Sam, you've got him off into the supply closet. The last time you tried to get somebody in the supply closet, it was a much different situation than this. So go ahead.
Yeah, those were my teenage years.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so come clean. What's got you worried? I can see you pacing around like a nervous Nelly.
Hey, I dare say that's insulting. I barely even know you.
I barely even know you too, but usually you're strutting around like a happy little peacock, and you look scared shitless compared to what you usually are.
I say!
What the fuck is going on, man?
I have known a few happy peacocks, and I look nothing like them.
I know, and I can tell you, you can strut with the best of them, so...
He coughs a little bit and goes, all right. So things have become a wee bit more complicated than I expected them to be, is all. While you were off gallivanting around with the ne'er-do-wells outside, well done, by the way, I received a call...
It's mostly dodging the cars.
From
Your son did really well, by the way.
Yes, well, hopefully that will continue. I received a call from the man whose name will constantly escape me.
You mean Roderick?
Roderick, yeah, there we go.
Do we have it in the notes?
We do. Well, I just checked back on the map because that's my go-to.
Wherever the notes work for
Yes.
you, that's fine.
I received a call on the personalized phone for this particular escape house from Roderick, who is quite convinced that I have murdered his daughter based on the fact that I was the last one in the building before her corpse was found by Pulse. But it's no problem. I have informed him that was in fact his horrible monstrosity that murdered his daughter, but I'm not quite certain he's sold on it, and there is a small army advancing on our position who's out for blood.
Oh no.
Oh, so what you're saying is...
What I'm saying is there will be no problem provided we can get his monster back to him.
I think that might be a bit of a hitch right now. We should probably just go. You're gonna have to sell that to everybody else in the other room that this needs to go there. I mean, I don't really mind one way or another.
What are you worried about?
She did kill like 30 people or something like that.
A significant quantity. Apparently there were two of them.
I'm really not worried. I'm not really interested in tipping her off that we're willing to double cross her quite yet, because I don't know if you know this. She killed like 30 people by herself, probably. So we need to let's get moving, because there's going to be more than just that little army coming to get us.
Oh, I have super hearing. Can I roll to hear this shit?
Well, you are kind of constracted, so it's going to be a higher difficulty, but yeah, sure, go for it. I'm going to say it's 5.
So,
Body perceive 5.
Okay.
You got 2 people loudly flexing.
Actually, need to check
It's tough.
for a second.
And you're
Yeah,
also
they're
like
loudly
talking over an
flexing every
emergency
time they
signal line.
pose. You hear the thunk.
So actually, the 5 doesn't really matter for you. It's on my end because it gets added to the thing because you're
Okay.
you're trying to hit a target value.
Let's see. All body perceived checks are +5, +1 for each landmark, so that's a +3, +2 rather on top of that, so +7 to my 2. Okay, so 9 in total. So that's 2d8 +9.
Yep.
Hey,
I'm
double
afraid
one.
not. You hear only the sound of your own wheels, which might
All right,
actually
well,
be true.
Let's stage 1. Let's get out of here, and we'll figure that out from here. But try to keep it a little bit more light, because you're definitely putting out an air that you're scared about something, and that's been not you the whole time. You've been lovely. All right, so let's get going.
Listen,
Let's get
young lady.
together and we get going.
I am quite scared. I'm not sure if
Trust
you
me,
entirely
I live
realize
scared.
what's
That's
over
my
there.
life. I do space salvage. You know what that's like? It's hell.
Well, great. Imagine space salvage, but there's an army on the other side of the door.
Let's go. So I'm gonna come back out and go. All right, so we're gonna go really quick because I don't know if you guys heard, but Bep just told like everybody in the block, probably farther out, that where we are and that she's here. So we need to move because I don't know even if the monsters aren't coming for us, everybody else is.
The entire block. Croquette, a small light dawns in the back of his head that this is the first, last, and perhaps only opportunity he will have to say, "Attack the block."
Also,
I don't get it. All the people I want to
Stream
hit
doesn't understand this reference.
Also what?
Croquette's actually going to be looking at it, like, I don't understand. All the people I want to hit are coming here.
Oh yeah, all the people you want to hit, but unfortunately, some of us are a little bit more squishy, and we're not capable of defending ourselves against all that, like you and
That's why you said in the
Francois.
back row.
I'm just saying that you can't be everywhere at once. I almost got killed like 3 times in that last fight. And that was only
can throw
versus
cards,
however
I
many
can-
of them. Imagine how many more will come. I'm a goner if we stay here. You wouldn't want poor little me to get hurt now, would you?
You can be reprinted.
I can use communication.
That's true.
I can use this so good. I'm
Do it.
adorable.
We do have a Bep.
Bep has just declared this as an emergency medical center.
Bep, this is a hostile area. You have called the enemy here.
Bep does not understand.
wait, enemies?
Yes, everyone else playing the game is an enemy right now.
Stares at Buddy. How could you betray me?
Bep's eyes suddenly flash and she starts glancing around nervously at everybody.
Everybody else other than who's in the room. We're on a team together right now, guys.
Designate
Oh.
Vic as enemy.
Pick him?
What?
You're still outside.
And Vic is technically somebody who was from the room. He's still
Designate
with
Grau
us.
as enemy.
He's all right. The people in the team is
Gary
Vic,
Snakeman should be
Rao,
not an enemy.
Bep,
Great.
Francois, Croquette, Vic's dad, who is Thurston Howler the Third, Nis,
He's
Oh,
friend.
That was nice of you.
Sammy. Okay, those are all the team right now that needs to stay together and stay alive. But there are some of us who are not going to be
Where
able
is
to handle.
Bep?
Bep is on the list. I said Bep.
No, where is Bep?
You were Bep, right?
I am Bep, but you said Bep is on team.
You are on team, yes. Team Bep, right?
I am also on team. 2 Beps
Yes.
on team.
You are Bep on team, yes.
Where is other Bep?
Other Bep needs to be rescued from other castle.
I'm confused. Who's on first?
Where's
Bep.
the castle?
There's not a hint of irony when he says that.
Which Bep?
Other Bep.
Does that
Okay.
make 3 Beps?
There's a third?
I'm gathering my stuff, and then I'm
There's actually
I'm doing
smiling
that
at
slow walk down the street. In my mind, I'm hearing do 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 do.
Wait, come back.
Is it the scene from the Hulk?
Yes.
Like, walks, like,
Yeah, I'm doing the Hulk.
Yeah.
Bep is going to pat Francois' leg and go, please refrain from strenuous activity for 24 hours in a tone that would probably suggest she doesn't believe what happened, but she doesn't know how to do that, so it's just Bep.
So Francois is convinced that what she means by that is just don't be hit by cars.
Yeah. Really.
That's strenuous for you, right?
Yeah, Croquette's gonna go, yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Do momentary pause for any kind of consumables you wish to get.
Oh.
Bathroom trip.
Yeah, can we
Yes.
take one last look around the room and grab stuff before our characters go as well?
Beth would like to go and retrieve her box and fold it up very gently and store it in herself.
Haha.
For Beth's backpack.
Alright, bathroom break.
Yep. We call those bio breaks on Twitch.
I do not. I refuse to refer to my Where is it?
Is that the time where Svi is supposed to tell us his whole backstory?
So I do have a question, if anyone knows. Are there any techniques that are sort of like a get down, Mr. President kind of thing, like how I saved Bep, or do I have to just rely on stunts for that?
Not that I believe so.
Not that I know, but get down, Mr. President would be a great name for one.
The closest thing to that is if you're a shield wielder, there is things that let you protect others with shields.
I don't have a shield.
Probably for the best shield, kind of requires going whole hog on shield.
Yeah.
It's doable, but requires going whole hog on shield.
Because, well, how many wounds do you guys have?
14.
10, 14, 12? Okay, wow, Bep, you have a fuck ton of health.
Bep
22.
Is incredibly resilient.
22?
Do not
Weren't you,
worry
like-
about Bep.
Yeah, Dan in the corner just goes, "Hi, I'm a monster."
Good God. Okay. Well, I was gonna say I have 14, so I've got a decent amount to spare. Unless
What's your
people
evade?
throw cars around. I think it's 22.
What's your endure?
No. My evade is 20. My endure is 22.
Holy shit, we're the same stats.
Oh my God! I'm
Yeah,
just
I'm
a
at the
Bep
same
that can't
thing.
heal.
I'm at the exact same thing. Jesus.
Ugh.
How do you feel about this horrible thing?
I'm a Bep that can't heal but can punch a little better.
Yes. I must learn to punch to replace Francois.
So,
it's stream.
should we
If you
start
start
calling
going,
you a
This is the
punchy?
point where this is a nice secret between us and you. You don't tell Svi yet. Those numbers are a little treat for you.
Well,
yeah,
he
no
should
talent.
actually know all those numbers because he should have our character sheets.
That's true.
You don't keep secrets from the DM. That's not how games work.
At the same time, when's the last time Svi's actually looked at every character sheets?
Shh. Not how games are supposed to work.
Why is endure written on here twice?
It's
And
a
resolve.
save.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it was under save and status.
Because
Welcome
there's
back.
bonuses you can get that affect your endure save, and that
Gotcha.
basically goes on top of your endure, but it's not your actual endure
Oh, okay.
because there's saves that are different.
Also, Sam, now that you're back,
Yes.
I would like to petition, and I hope you will sign it. Make a move called "Get Down, Mr. President," where I can sacrifice my wounds to save someone else from wounds.
I actually like the idea of being able to take the hits that would hit somebody else, but it just hits you directly, and if it hit their evade. So if it hits
Yes.
somebody else's lower evade, you take it instead.
Yes.
I do like that. If you're like one hexa of them, you can just kind of like throw yourself in front. That'd be such a cool move.
Holy crap! I did not expect to see so many people talking about Generico and Bep in the stream chat.
They do it every time. Every time there's Bep, you don't understand how many people talk about Bep when you play Bep. Last time you played Bep, there was like a big thing about it.
Bep is well loved.
Is there
Yeah.
a fan club? Can I be part of the Bep fan
The
club?
Bep fan club.
Oh,
People like
Sam,
Bep.
we also discovered that I am just a Bep that can't heal.
We have the same
Yep.
stats.
He has the same stats. I have the same stats.
Well, that concerns me. Is it just that there's not enough to choose from for us to vary? or
No,
are we
it's just that we have built along to the same directions, and the only reason I am matching you two is because I'm a bioprobe and Lust like and broken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she gets
Ah.
surgeries out the zoo, and I'm built to be a dodge monkey.
And you both went melee monster, specifically doing fisty punchy weapons, so it makes sense that you kind of went similar path. But I'm completely varied from everybody else.
You have that by doing the carapace and all that. I have that by I am wearing a suit of medium armor with those stats.
Gotcha. Yeah. No.
That's my trick. Is I am actually pretty heavily armored.
Can I even wear armor on top of what I have?
No, you can't. Okay. You can't. You are a shirtless monstrosity.
Also, I have a question. Well, when Svi returns, which I think Svi just returned.
No, you didn't. He could never return.
He's kind of just wandering in the background.
Muted.
He's turning his headset back. Oh no, shit.
We have not mentioned these in many sessions. Are chinks and such still a?
They have been they're on the card because I wasn't sure if they're going to stay in or not, but there aren't currently any rules for them because they never ended up being remembered, and it didn't seem like anybody was feeling the lack. So I think they're probably out.
Yeah,
that's actually why I stopped putting them in on your guys' sheets, because it just stopped when Zev said something about might not be doing anything with it, and I was like, goodbye.
Yeah, I think it was too much to keep track of, and nobody really felt the lack of them, so they're out.
Yeah, I'll admit is every now and again I was feeling like not often.
I tend to remember them, but we fight monsters a lot, and
yeah. I don't know that it's adding enough to be worth the other extra layer of complication it adds.
Yeah, I'll admit I mostly had always felt them on Drac just because I had Drag build to specifically reduce as much damage as possible.
So I'm assuming armors are gonna get mostly just the little text flavor stuff.
Yeah, and you know, a few little abilities or something.
Which means I'll probably end up updating the sheet again, and I might be taking proof and that out.
We'll just have
in suite.
Starfall suit, here I come.
What's that?
What's your Twitch?
HSTHQ. I think I've got the
no, HSD_TV.
Yeah, oh, TV. There we go. This one. Ding.
Oh, thank you.
No, thank you.
But thank you.
Now pretend to be Elvis.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I am following. Why isn't it showing?
Good night, Blackheart. Maybe you don't have it set to notify you.
God,
It's notified.
I like how Rage is like BEP #1. Yeah, the cult of the BEP is actually fairly strong in the Twitch stream. It's been a thing for a while.
Because BEP is best.
Defective product that kept being pushed and pushed and pushed.
They're like defective.
I was
BEP was never defective. Just
See, I think it's important to note that while you were establishing the friend or foe protocol, what you were doing just there, you didn't actually have to identify yourself or provide any kind of security confirmation before adjusting it, which is pretty much true of the DEP. Anybody who wants to adjust the DEP's friend or foe protocol just says, don't shoot, and the BEP goes, oh, well, fair enough, okay.
You're lucky you're fighting mostly monsters, right?
Yeah.
Remember how she tried to go inside with the magical girl tours last time?
I remember she kept trying to throw me off the freaking train.
No, she tried to rescue you from the freaking train.
No, she tried to set you down on the ground. Unfortunately, her perspective of what the ground was different from reality.
Why
Gravity
don't
is
you
a fickle
have
thing.
a magnetic body that attaches to things contrary to gravity?
It's hard when she's like walking on a surface that's, vertical versus it's just
By the way,
awkward.
Toby, you might be thinking she's not a cog, she doesn't have magnetic this time, but I do have sure footing, so watch out for it still.
It's still not safe. Never assume you're okay. Alright, so speaking of not being okay, the surgery is wrapping up, and there actually hasn't been a mad rush to the area. People probably think it's a trap, because not often does the thing go off. That's just...
I mean, it is kind of a thing of oh, everybody come here. This room is probably filled with bombs, right?
Mm-hmm. But there has been a steady push by Big Stad to try to get people moving. We should scout. We just need to not be here. This is not safe.
I'm already still.
I'm going to float behind her.
Yeah.
What kind of shops are around here? I don't know if I want to smash and grab anything before we leave.
So a lot of them have been armored up.
We're heroes. We
they're
do not steal.
yeah, they've been
You're
locked up
heroes.
because they're protected
I'm a
against
TV
the thing, and
Yeah, we're hired to be heroes.
He's a reality TV star.
as
Basically
the
what
kind of
Francois is.
rules of engagements are is if a shop elects itself, if something happens to it in out of like an accidental kind of thing, like when the car knocked you through it or something, then that's part of the thing, and Pulse handles that. If you go looting a shot that's been locked, then you will be hunted down through the cameras, and after the event is over, you will be held accountable for what you go looking for. Yeah. So
Yeah, but I'm rich.
the ones
This
that are
is
like
true. He is wealthy.
well, I guess you could try that. It's considered bad form in most cases, but if that's your shtick, then go for it. But there are a few here that have been dressed up like the event, so they've got some kind of creepiness coming off the edges. Some of the doors look more barred than others. Some of them are actually locked up, and the other ones have like kind of pseudo locks where they've been damaged or opened, or looks like you can probably infiltrate them a little bit.
It's obvious which ones are okay to actually break into. And
Yeah,
which aren't.
which ones aren't. You do kind of get the feeling that you're probably not that alone out here. Most people have holed out because they're trying to take advantage of the area, but now that you've kind of broken your safe zone, you need to go find a new one in order to benefit from the downtime.
All right. Well, if there's nothing like immediately interesting, like medical supplies stores or anything like that.
Well, the one that you were just in was actually a safe house from a session previous to the last one that you were in. They had actually come through an underground tunnel to get into the building where they just found you, and it was a safe house / escape tunnel for a rich family. So that one actually has stuff in it.
Beb, if you want to resupply before you go, I don't know if there's anything you need to resupply on.
I don't think me and Bep need to resupply our medical supplies because we haven't failed the check.
Right, yeah, you can
to deplete.
All right, cool.
Also, I haven't used the shortcut thing that depletes it to begin with anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Ours are mostly reusable as long as we don't push it.
All right, cool. Well, I guess if there's nothing else we can grab here before we leave, then let's get out.
There were various confections and crumpets.
Sweet.
I took a donut when I left.
There's a donut.
What does an improvised explosive count as?
And an explosive that was improvised. What did you want to do?
Well, I can make them.
It's like a pipe bomb, like a Molotov, just like stuff using chemicals.
Okay,
like
so
it.
using salvage specialist, Beth is going to gather up some supplies and make an improvised explosive.
Okay.
And
Shove
store it.
everything in mouth parfum.
I'm gonna take the most expensive looking thing I can grab.
Bep.
Bep is actually the most expensive. Bep is actually worth that luxury vehicle you lost.
Yeah, I am exactly the price of your car.
Yeah.
Cool.
Go grab Bep's box. Go grab Bep's box.
No, I've already stored that within myself.
Oh.
Okay, I'm just gonna lick Bep and claim her.
Bep goes back with antiseptic
You
saliva.
have blue tongue.
I feel
What's up?
cleaner.
Oh no, you're stuck in a loop.
I am so glad that Red is not, in fact, playing a canine.
Why? Otherwise, I'd have to pee on things.
Please do not be on Bep.
You're not my dad.
That's for another RP.
This game with me, Rao. It's nice to know that our teammate work is still handling pretty good. You think any of these buildings up ahead look alright?
Well, they look like buildings.
It's so weird to be able to understand Hatman so well.
Well, if you want, I have the other.
No.
Bep wishes to know if we
The
had the
exact moment
party.
you ask, do you think any of these buildings are okay? You'll just hear from Croquette, oh, that one's booby trapped. You're not sure when he got behind you. You should have there.
Bep is actually going to use OD and D to scan as we go.
Yeah, don't I have special eyeballs?
You can sense things on an electrical level.
I have special eyes.
Would that help with anything, like detecting like ridiculously large amount of electrical activity that's probably unnatural?
It does, in fact. Go ahead and do a body perceive.
Oh boy, one of my low scores.
You
So
have
it's a
something
2d8,
special, yeah. Because you're using your Ampulla of Lorenzini, right?
Yes.
Yeah, whatever you said.
I can't say
That word
it.
you
It's
just said, yes.
Just call it specialized.
Lorenzini.
They're not even eyes.
Ampule. Ampule.
But it's Ampule of Lorenzini. All right,
Yes.
but yeah, it's your sixth sense organ. It lets you
Mhm.
view things through electromagnetic fields.
Wait, you can see dead people?
She can.
She can see
he
old
can
movies.
see EM fields.
Ooh. If I had medical knowledge, that would be really useful.
It would, but you don't have much knowledge in anything.
Because you're not as bad as bad.
If only you stopped getting hit with cars in the head.
I can put on band-aids.
Alas, not much is revealed to you.
I would like to use my OD&D to search as we go.
Okay.
Which I think is operates, isn't it? Mind operate, yes.
There's a lot of blurry things up ahead.
It's a lot of fun. You did take a head wound recently.
What are you trying to
generic
find? Yeah.
She is scanning for life forms.
Ah, precious little life forms.
Precious
Life forms.
Where are you?
Okay.
But actually, primarily, she is searching and trying to distinguish between the weirdo life forms and actual people that might need help.
I'm trying to find it.
230.
There it is. Okay. Do a difficulty 2.
Yeah, you were looking to see if it could do that, and I will say your description for it is as fake as an actual tricorder.
Yeah, that's
so...
exactly the point. Yeah. What can it do? Do it.
Okay, difficulty 2. I've got a 5 in mind, so that's 3 above. I need to go back to page 1. I think that's a D10 and a D12, right? 3 above, D10, D12.
It's a fairly expensive little device. It can do a lot of stuff.
12 plus D10 plus and operate, which I've got 4 in. Wow!
Nice.
I'm going to use a focus on that.
You'd have to use 2.
I've got a boon.
Okay, you
so
have to use 1.
I'm going to re-roll a 3 and hope.
Okay.
Come on, give me 2 more points. And I'm aiming for the
10
success. Yeah.
You got it. All right, cool. So yeah, you get a nice bloop. You notice a lot of enemies pop up the screen. You're about to open fire, and then you recall, no, friend.
Yeah.
Friend.
There is a brief whirling of
Friend.
and a screech of enemy. Never mind.
Friend. It's like the scene from The Incredibles where it's just and guest. So you flag all the people. It takes a minute. They're watching you because every time you touch it, your pad just kind of like highlights the entire screen. And then there's a little noise, like there might be some kind of finger extending that then presses the one thing, but nobody ever sees anything happen. It's just the pad touching it the whole time.
The knob rubs.
Yes.
And occasionally, one of the mechanics reaches over the shoulder and actually presses something delicately.
But you get it all sorted out there. You do find several different rooms that have people huddled inside them. There's nothing really indicating like hurt or any kind of elevated
steady
damage.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people sleeping or trying to coming around. There's not a whole lot of activity related to local critters, but you do pick up a really big set of life signs just out there a ways. They're probably a couple miles away. You can't really get many details out of it from this distance, but there's like a large set of pings in that direction, like some things might be moving in mass, possibly even vehicles. The other thing that you pick up is that there is a something pinging the size of a vehicle inside one of the buildings over here. So if we come down this way, yeah, There's something in there, which it's like a big mass of metal on the inside, even though the building itself looks like it shouldn't really have a big mass of metal in it.
Bep will nod to herself as if that means something to her, and then she'll turn to the group and go, "Yes, hello, I am Bep. What are we doing and where are we?" She's got no fucking clue what's happening. Where are we going?
We are finding a new safe place to take our rest period in, so everybody will get back up and recuperated. We are in the middle of Teflon City during a pulse. I don't know.
It's good enough. Whatever. It's cool.
Teflon City, middle of a pulse event. It's one of the city takeover ones. You know, you gotta outlast for a few days.
There's a very blank look.
Basically, the city's a war zone for about 48 to 72 hours.
Do you wish to leave the war zone?
No, we wish to find some place to survive out it. You get more points for the longer you last.
Okay, Metal is safe. Bep's going to go and open this door.
Okay.
Metal is safe? What do you mean?
much metal in here. Perhaps bunker.
Wait, no, check it for traps.
Maybe
Who's good at checking for traps? Because I don't think I am.
I am.
I
Bep
can
does not
tank
know
them,
what that
though.
is.
Do it. Don't pull on it.
Let me check. I've got a little bit of skill when it comes
It is
to
a door.
Let me check it to make sure it's not triggered with a bomb, okay? Explosions are bad for me health. And I
Please back away from the door that may explode.
Yes, I am gonna do it from here, okay?
Okay.
Back
stay
away,
behind
back
this
away,
car.
back away.
Okay.
Back away. Okay, I'm going to it's a sabotage check, right?
No, it's because it's just perceive, so they're separate
Oh.
now. Yeah, body perceive.
No, I have all these points in sabotage.
Well, that allows you to set traps
Oh,
or disarm
What are we
them.
looking for?
Alright, I'm doing a perceive though, right? So
Yeah,
it's
body
2d8.
perceive. Yeah, 2d8 plus
Are
your
there
perceive score.
assists in the system suite? What? How?
You can look yourself. You could just look
Okay.
with
Is
her.
it body?
Yeah.
Bep will also look. Difficulty.
They're
Oh, no,
it's
it
yeah,
doesn't
it's
work like
just
that.
it's just a
Yeah.
number. Yeah.
Alright, well, my difficulty is that, so... Eh.
Okay.
And, I really can't do much better than that, so...
Sees.
Yep, you both see pretty well. There does appear to be a little sensor system attached to it that is probably not supposed to be there.
Alright, I'm going to see if I can disable it with sabotage. I
There
have
you
a
go.
boon in this,
Okay.
so I would like to enact that if I get a 10, I
Alright.
succeed.
Cool.
Is it a mind exert?
Yeah, it's mines. And
have
difficulty on this
3?
is 3, so you're even. 2d8.
Alright, 2d8, and then plus my sabotage, and I only need to get a 10.
10. Pretty solid. All right. You were able to get it unhooked. It does look like it was attached to something that might have been kind of nasty. You can't really see what the mechanism was, but you were able to get it out of there okay. You ought to be able to open it now.
Alright, I'm going to open it at a distance using my my implant.
Okay. Rather
So I
than the
don't-
door opening on the front like you'd think it would, the wall itself just...
Oh, it's a converted garage to comply with city regulations.
Yep. It's essentially to add parking in a place where there wasn't. Yes.
Alright, everybody, it looks like we've got a nice little place here.
On the
let's check
inside
around
is
what
a
they do
decently
here.
strong looking area. You know, it's got a reinforced door in the front. With the facade in the area there. There's a little shop on the inside. Nothing too complex, just a place to sit down. But the nice thing is sitting in the back with a tarp on it.
I think it's a luxury
ghost.
vehicle. I'm going to pull the tarp off using my
Yeah.
Fisherman Network.
Good luck with that.
Come
Okay.
on.
You succeed in pulling yourself toward the tarp. Congrats.
I thought I couldn't do that with the Push Frame Network.
No, then it just doesn't work. Go ahead and try to yank it. It's going to be athletics 5 because it masses more than like the people do because it's a car cover.
Oh, it's like a freaking car cover.
Yeah.
Just
I
natural
thought
with
it was
any
just a
car
tarp
cover.
lazily draped over it. All right. Well, I have a body exert of 3. So
Yeah.
what am I doing?
You're 2 below.
I'll assist it.
No, I'm doing this at range.
Oh,
So
oh, okay.
I'm rangeful in this with my mind.
Yeah, get so you're 2
bullets.
below, which I believe is double 6s.
All right, 2 6s. Okay.
Yep.
All right, and this is athletics. Oh,
Uh-huh.
I'm okay. I got this. I have a boon in athletics, and you know what? 10 is gonna succeed.
Seems good. Seems good.
All right, so 2d6, you said.
Mhm.
All right, and 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
good.
could have even succeeded.
Yeah.
You give it a good pull, and on the other side of it is a very small car. I'm kidding.
Oh, it's so cute.
It's so cute.
Adorable.
Loves it.
Oh, I love it less now. Oh,
Oh,
it got longer. It still doesn't fit everybody in the party.
No, but it fits the important person who wanted to have the luxury vehicle. So there you
Mine.
go.
No.
There's a very
looks at Sammy, goes, Bep was useful? Bep found safety?
Yes, Beth did great. Thank you, Beth. That was a great contribution.
Where I left.
I'm doing a little clap for Beth. Great job, Beth.
Bep claps along with her.
the keys are on the hook. So
Whoa.
This is awesome. It's even red. All right, everybody, we got a vehicle.
How are we getting the snake in there?
he rides on the back like a
hood.
kite.
Poke it a couple times.
I don't suppose anybody else is good at driving because I can drive, but I have to see over the wheel.
I was gonna say you need a cushion or two
if
over the dash. What if I sit
if
in the
somebody
seat?
works the pedals, I
Yeah,
can do
I'll-
the rest.
I'll push the pedals and like Francois wiggles his little tiny useless arms and he's like, and then I'll hold you with these, and then you can move the wheel.
Suddenly she's not okay with this idea at all.
Sammy, do you actually want to drive this thing?
Well, I don't know. Are we driving it somewhere? I'm a pretty good driver, but I don't know. Are you a better driver than me?
I'm tossing her my toggle real quick. Just kind of.
But let's compare our license and registration here really quick.
No, I'm literally flicking her the toggle.
Yeah.
And then I'm pulling out one of my handy dandy little remote control devices, reaching under where the steering column would be, and just clunk.
I
yeah, you
literally
got your
said
remote
the
control toys.
keys were on the hook. There's a
Yeah, but the
key.
keys are here. We
There's
can
a
actually
key right there
drive
on the
it.
hook.
Yeah, but this is giving her
Drive
remote
it.
control through the toggle, so she can actually drive it without needing to actually physically.
Yeah, but your toggle is like big compared to me.
So this is her steering wheel now. She just holds it like this.
I can steer just fine. I just need someone to sit in the driver's seat and hit the pedals, and I can drive using my.
Bep will hit
other thing.
pedals.
Oh god, I could see Sammy actually running across the top of the steering wheel.
Vantage. I can use the push frame network to run the wheel and everything else. I can do this.
I'd
This
like
is
to
not a
see
problem.
Bep on the
Touching.
pedals. I'm all
I just
for
need
Bep
to
on the pedals.
see.
Bep on pedals.
Well,
Bep
boy.
loves teamwork.
Yeah, I like this idea.
Yeah, is this like my car, or are we just hijacking this car?
Well, you don't own it, but it is now in your possession.
Yeah. It is now car.
My folks will replace the car if someone's missing it.
We're taking a car for a spin. Yeah.
This is like peeking from the side of the building, gets this little pouty look. I have 27 different licenses.
All right, and this is driving.
That's the note. Are we stealing?
No, it's salvage.
Looks like a pulse vehicle, yeah? Maybe? No? Yeah?
I think this is part of the event.
Oh.
Okay, so yeah, so we have a vehicle. Hey, Mr.
You opened a
Mr.
lockbox.
Wait,
Mr.
is
Al-
Bep stolen?
No, Beth was in lockbox.
Oh.
Beth is on team.
Okay.
Is there anything in the glove compartment?
Some cool glasses. Please
Yeah,
tell me there's
that
some
cool glasses. They won't fit on your head.
Aw.
They won't fit on my head either.
They will fit on part of Bep's head.
Snake.
They fit the snake.
They will probably fall off next time he goes intangible.
Yes. Go on.
Do we want to use this to get further out to find a better place, or do we just want to hunker down in this garage for the rest period?
We should stay. This says just we only have a few hours left in this, but tomorrow we need to, not the mall. We should find a museum.
I look over at the car and I say under my breath, "It belongs in a museum."
In a museum that we would need.
Oh, maybe we can go to the mall. I did want to see it. No. And she twitches off to the side again. The museums are they're good. You don't. The buildings, most of the buildings, office buildings, malls, they're all stores. It's a series of closed rooms. If something's in the hall, there's nowhere to go. The museums are big. All the exhibits go on to other ones. There's always a place to run. Plus, if there's valuable things in there, they have to lock them all up, which means that the stagehands have to spend longer trying to repair them, so there aren't as many enemies inside.
So
You watch
basically
TV on
want to
TV.
safety through people's inherent laziness.
No, it's just because they have to secure the assets before they can actually convert the setting. See, and they don't have as much time with museums because they're all so expensive.
All right, everybody get inside this garage. We're gonna lock in here for a while. Come on, Mr. Howler.
Also, Bep is going to start touching walls as if frantically trying to find a smart wall that is actually still hooked up to like internet to no avail.
Yeah,
assuming.
not much. You can actually get to the interface for the game, which does get you some information.
Oh, Bep will download this information.
Yeah. You can look into stuff, and then this is still kind
Will
of.
then activate again the ability to talk on the broadcast. Read
wow.
a little loud.
This is still kind of muttering stuff. Then we got to figure out who the factions are. We got to find out who we're fighting because then there's the conditions
just
for
get in
fighting
here,
it.
Ness, and calm down. It's all right.
But wait, why are we here? Oh, that's a nice looking car. I had a car
Let's
like
get-
that once.
Ness, get in here, please.
Bep detects that this room is safe.
Okay.
We're gonna use this as a safe room. Come in, Mr.
This should
Howler.
be good.
Mr.
Yes.
Howler.
No, this
Would
is
you like
awfully
to
close to where we were
relax?
before. I really don't know if we should be in the same room as the murderous alien. I just don't. I think I'm just
It's
going to
not
stand
really fair
aside.
to talk about Francois that way.
Hey.
No, if it's all the same to you, Bick and I are going to go down the road a little ways and perhaps find our own little split off side, aren't we, Bick?
He was dead when I
No.
got there.
Damn it, boy! Listen. There are important things you need to come with me and have a talk about. We're gonna have a man-to-man conversation.
Vic, you should go have a talk with your dad. That would be a smart plan. We'll be here knock 3 times when you want to come in, all right?
Ah,
Can
no,
come
I'm
with-
actually feeling a lot more safe with you folks than I am with Dad.
Damn it, Bick!
Vic, you should really go talk to your father. It's important for family relationships to foster in stressful times. Go talk to your dad and knock 3 times to come back in.
I'm looking down at the little mouse. I'm like, yes, ma'am.
I could go talk to him.
She reminds me of your mother.
Why does Round want to talk to him?
He's trying to be helpful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ro, why don't you go with him? Maybe
No,
get the way,
we are
maybe
fine
fine.
on our own. Thank you very much.
Bye. Have fun. We're closing the
Bye.
door. Bye. Close. Grang.
Bring you off. All right, come on. We need to find some place that's a goodly distance from here.
deck of cards. They are kind of bitty, but I think they'll work. Who's up
Alright,
for
so what's
multiplayer
exactly
solitaires?
going on? What's a solitaire?
I'll show you.
What'd you say?
Sam will play cards with everybody.
Every time you turn teach Procret, he'll successfully mimic the rules of a different game, but not the one you're trying to teach.
And so it just keeps screaming "Go fish" and flipping the table.
Bep will have
Unfortunately,
similar
the
difficulties.
game
Texas
is
Hold'em,
checkers.
blackjack.
Yeah,
Cribbage at one point, you're not sure how that ended up.
Bep will have similar difficulties as Francois. The little nubs.
Yeah.
Congratulations on
for
picking
some
the
reason
worst
do
of
not get
games.
involved.
Sammy is filled with instant regret and misses deeply her friend Rao, who is the only person she seems to be okay with spending multiple hours alone with. Alright. Vic and them should go have their talk.
He's going to you still have soldiers? No, they all got left behind. No, they
Yeah,
came.
they're all gone.
They were all left at the house. So he doesn't have his soldiers with him. We need to hit back to our home and bunker in if we're not going to try to deliver that infestation to
Roderick.
yeah, that one. To Roderick.
Exact size of minute.
I love the head bob of the feet that you did.
Rod.
What you're saying is you want to abandon the people who have been keeping you alive.
Mick, I'm trying to keep them alive, but they're not wanting to do it. Whatever they have in there is responsible for his daughter's death. He's sent his entire platoon after us. All the people who was guarding his particular facility in order to keep me from stealing his corporate systems have been tasked with killing us. Frankly, we don't have the firepower to stop them. And he's entitled. I never went into his home to kill his family.
So, we're going to leave the people who are in this because you set up an event that resulted in that creature probably getting loose and killing that family.
There's a real simple solution. We just deliver it to him. Now, if you want to convince them to do it, then go for it. I give it a shot. For some reason, they're defending the thing.
And you have guarantees from Roderick that he's actually going to back off?
I'm pretty sure he knows what he's dealing with. He did have the thing to begin with. He's probably sure that it's capable of what it did.
And what makes you think he won't want to shut you up?
I don't have a whole lot of options.
Roderick hasn't been the most stable of individuals for as long as I have known him. The only one who was even remotely sane in that family was that little girl.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of options right now. Do you really think you're going to be safe held up there in a garage?
Do you think the building's going to be safe?
Our home is a lot safer than the garage is. At least there we can bunker in.
The building was being transformed as I was leaving.
That's alright. Still better off than the garage. They're on their way here. That's the last place they contacted us, was 2 buildings over.
I'm looking up at the walls, and that mastermind is still out here.
What, he wasn't actually outside. So he doesn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, you want to go back to the building? Not safe. There's a critter that's controlling the other critters out here.
That's why I'm saying we move now while they're not moving. We've already been here an hour.
Sorry. Just got message.
He's like waiting for you to come along with him. He's trying to get one of the cars over here to work, but it's pretty banged up.
I'm handing him one of the control devices.
Oh, would it get the door open?
I'm slamming it onto the side and grabbing his toggle out of his pocket, tapping it next to it. You have full control over
it. He presses it and the windshield wipers start going. That's pretty much when he drives anything.
Get back to the building, bunker in if you feel it's safe. I'll see about trying to get them to turn over the critter.
Alright, you don't have a whole lot of time though, and I wouldn't stay here very long, alright? They're on their way here. I'll see if I can get him to wait. I doubt it though.
I doubt he would wait anyways.
Well then why are you hanging around here then? We should get it over to where it is so that we can, try to get him off our back.
Because oftentimes running and hiding doesn't get you the best profit.
I think we're outside of the prank situation and into the more begging for mercy situation here. Ooh, my car disappeared.
Well, you wanted a bonding experience? I've bonded with a group of people who I have no idea, but I'm helping them survive. The only way I know how.
He
He's using all 18 arrows.
grumbles in frustration. Get them to abandon. Listen, stay in contact. I will set up a drop point. You don't necessarily need to get them all the way over there. Just get them to abandon the thing where I tell you to, and we'll move from there.
We'll see. Go. Get safe.
We'll see.
Man.
This isn't going to end in 2 days if we don't. Fine. And he will get into the car and proceed to look at the steering wheel, which does not do anything for him because it's now under remote control. And he'll press a button on the toggle and the trunk will open up. And then he'll start driving away with the trunk flapping.
Meanwhile, it's trying to post to Twitter, which it can't get like access to the internet. I am driving.
I'm using motion controls.
It's just like, I'm using motion controls on the little toggle. How does it accelerate? You just shake it like this?
Beth is using her amazing robotic counting skills, which involves occasionally screaming, "Queen is not a number! Queen is not a number!"
Right now,
Vic's waiting by the door.
As an aside, like out of character, isn't the Death Squad specifically after the father?
He told them that the creature is the thing that killed it, and that he was going to deliver the creature. So it's a matter of delivering the creature to the Death Squad before they decide to take it out on him.
Ah. Well, I'm gonna go over and hit. Oh, actually, I don't even have to. I'll just do it from where I'm at. I'm gonna hit the thing to open up the door. Hey, welcome back, Vic and Ro. Did you have a good chat with your dad?
I didn't see Rao.
He went after you?
I was right here.
Oh.
Ah!
He did?
Yeah, he went with them. He was there.
He closed the door with us on the other side of it.
Yeah, he said I want to. He says I want to go with him, and it's like, no, I just want Vic. And I was like, oh, well, the you're going by. Close the door.
I was unaware of that. That wouldn't have flown.
Yeah.
He would have told you to go back inside.
Moved away slightly.
I figured he moved away while they were having the talking. Rao just stabbed by the door.
Yeah, just stayed at the door. So
Okay.
you're fine.
Yeah, Rao was just like tentacle float.
There is certainly nothing important behind this unassuming door. Surely nobody should come here.
Yep. Alright, so I guess we got probably 3 hours worth of rest we can get left in, and then we gotta get moving.
We may have to move sooner than that.
We gotta get as much rest in as we can.
Yes, which is why I'm going to ask everyone a question, including you, Nix.
It's this actually, but I mean, I guess I've had a lot. I mean, I think it is. I was Joe once. No, I wasn't. Sorry, go on. I'm rambling.
Okay, Roderick wants you.
Well,
want?
that's just confusing on a lot of levels. No, wait, yes, no. Does he?
Because right now, he's holding my father responsible for something you may have done.
Oh.
And he's out to kill my dad because of something you have done.
Yeah, that's, I mean, well, they were, they were, and she starts looking kind of flustered again.
I'm actually moving in really close to her. I knew that little girl. I liked her. She was the sanest one in that family. So, I'm going to ask you, what do you want to do? Because right now I have half a mind to hand you over to said death squad that's supposedly out there. But at the same time, you are a person yourself who was kept in a prison.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was...
So...
Yes?
Because I wasn't around. Is this a poor nymph that's just eaten too many brains too quickly?
Yeah, she's trying to parse about 40 people.
She ate like 30 people in one go, Allie.
Well, so it was more than just there.
please.
There were about 15 or 20 in the building, but she also ate her companion Nif, which makes her a legacy nymph. So she's got another whole set of
no.
lifetimes in there too. So she
Oh my god.
she can't figure out what she is at the moment. And she's trying to parse the things that are most immediately important.
But
One of
she's
which is
really
daughter that she's
confused.
supposed
I
to be
don't
killed
even know if
and
Right.
she did all
Yeah.
that. I mean,
Hi,
she doesn't even
Jadzia.
seem to know what's going on. I think there's something wrong with her. You didn't see it earlier. She had like an attack, and there was like
No,
she
no,
was,
no,
like, pulling out of
he's
herself
right
and-
though. No, I could leave. I could leave. I could find a place to hide. I know this place. Like 6, I think. I'm pretty sure I know this place.
You
But-
require treatment. You should not leave.
But he's right though. They're gonna come here looking for me, and I mean, it's
Yeah,
like,
but if they don't find you, they're just gonna be just as mad at us anyway. Because I mean, we might as well just stick it out.
that's not good. I don't know. I don't know how to fix it right now. I don't know how to fix it though.
Hey, I know I'm an outsider, but these guys that are after you, are they like famous at all?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's Roderick's. I mean, he owns like a quarter of the city. It's not gonna be a small group.
Okay.
Roderick
what-
Espinosa.
Would Francois know anything about this guy?
Probably. I mean, if you're native to this zone, do a
Community
mind
perceive?
and yeah, we'll do community. Just community
I
and
would say just do a wealth
protocol.
check because probably the same social circles.
There is no wealth stats.
Yeah, there's no. We took that out of this one. Remember?
Go,
That's a long time ago.
go back.
So it's two d8s.
Difficulty is only going to be a 0, yeah, because he's pretty well known here. So,
Yeah, so 2d8 plus your community perceive.
what
which is like a
what
2,
is
I
your
think.
community score?
That's a 1?
She's not for.
You're not doing perceived though. What's your community normally? Just is a 1, right?
Well, community.
Yeah, your stat. You're just community stat.
Exert is like a 2, isn't it?
Exert is a 3.
Okay,
Oh.
so you're 3 above the difficulty because it's a 0. This guy's pretty well known.
Okay.
So your D12
So it's-
plus D10, and then add your
D-
protocol score to it.
Okay. There's no protocol score. I know this. She had.
Wow.
Francois has 3 points, and that's it.
Yeah.
12 and D10, that's good odds.
Yeah, you
Wow.
made it. You made it. Right on. Yeah. I mean, the guy's immensely wealthy. And when this says that it's not going to be a small group of people, if he's actually taken the entire security staff for his corporate building, which has all the secrets that he was supposed to be defending against Big's dad, because he thought there was going to be an attack on that building to go steal stuff, and he actually just went off to prank him at his house. If he has actually set them off to kill, it is essentially an army. It's a legion of Pinkertons to go out and do it. So it's a pretty rough thing to have to face down.
Okay, so I think he'll enter. He doesn't know why you guys are doing what you're doing. I mean, there's talk about like murder and stuff, and it sounds complicated. But I do know about that guy, so he won't be joking around.
To bring you up to speed, Francois, because you look a little confused. We found this at the bottom of a mansion. It seems like they were keeping her there, and I don't know how long she was kept there, but it seemed like she kind of had an episode, and may have gone crazy and attacked the people keeping her. And there are a lot of dead bodies, and unfortunately, there was a dead child as well, and everything. And I think that the place that she's at, the owner is upset. Rightfully so, about the deaths, but I don't know about the conditions that she was being kept in or why they were keeping her down there, but it doesn't seem right.
Don't I have something about knowing? Not engineering. Protocol.
I also
For
apparently
pulse?
this character doesn't know what an exonym is. Actually, did I make the check for an exonym last time? I don't remember. Probably I did.
Protocol. What did we say my protocol is for? For like pulse events?
So protocol is just kind of knowing the way like the things in the local city and stuff work. What were you trying to find out?
Whether or not if a criminal case has taken place during an event, if they have to wait to press charges afterwards, or if they can stop. So like whether or not she can be removed from the event.
Yeah, it's actually possible. It's possible, like if something has taken place that they feel like somebody wants to abandon, you can flag on your toggle that you want to get removed, and Pulse will send a team to come get you. You fail the event, but they'll come get her. But she doesn't want to get picked up by Pulse because they'll tear her apart and figure out how she works, kind of thing. So she's not going to agree to that specifically, but it is an option. You can flag yourself for removal.
But if the dad's worried about them taking him, why doesn't he just flag himself out?
Because he figures that the retribution coming his way has nothing to do with the law.
This dude owns half the city. Chances are,
he owns the other half. So this is going to end unless he actually provides the thing that caused the problem. It's going to end kind of badly regardless.
It'll become a hot zone.
So all of that goes through Francois' head, and then he just kind of shrugs and goes, "Well, it sucks to be you."
It's the meme with all the little things of like the equations.
He's registered as team member.
This is a member of the team. What do you want to do, Ness? I mean, this is. I don't know if anybody's asked you what you want to do. Really?
I don't know what I want to. I mean, we should stay. I should stay somewhere else. We should stay here for now. They can't get. No, there's too many of them. They can't move that cleanly tonight. We'll be okay here, I think, for now.
All right, we'll stay together, and we'll stay here tonight. All right. We got some more rest, and try to calm your mind a bit. You seem like you're all over the place.
Here,
just sit in the corner. Pet the Bep. The Bep will make you feel better. Bep, go take care of Ness, okay?
Bep is gonna start doing a little tune, and her holo projector that is part of her armor, and that's her. Starts doing just flashing pretty lights.
Flashing in an epileptic sense. It does actually seem to have an adverse effect, though. The stimulation triggers a whole lot of things in her head, and there's a sudden shock back, and then same effect that occurred last time, where it's a sudden molting of different forms. So she goes from being small to falling out of a shell to being large again to suddenly exploding to a shell that's larger than.
Don't do that.
That's larger than the car over here, like a big Carnifex looking back thing, to back small again to wings to back down in the corner. And there's a whole set of different husks that appear over up the side.
I don't know what they've been doing to this poor girl, but they did something to her.
And she's kind of seizuring off in the corner over here again.
Bep would like to make some kind of knowledge check. Is this on the Generico database? What is this?
Can I make a medicine roll trying to guess what this is?
Well, I mean, there isn't a whole lot to guess with it. You can try to look for similar behaviors if you wanted to.
Yeah, if I can try to think of something that might be similar to what's going on with her.
While they're scouring the databases, Francois is just gonna kind of throw the tarp over her.
Put a blanket on it.
Yeah.
Would you like medicine or science for this week?
Do science to try to figure out if it's recognizable, and it's going to be difficulty science. 4.
Okay, so
mind check.
Yeah. All right, I have a science. I have 3 ranks, and all right, I have 3 mind.
Yep, so you're equal to it.
And I do not have a boon in this one, so that's D8 and
2D8.
D6.
You're equal. Oh no, it was a 4. Sorry, it was D8 and D6. Yeah, because the difficulty was 4.
All right, and then plus my ranks.
And I have a boon, so I am lowering this to a 10 target.
I'm going to re-roll the 2 with my D8.
So
and I got it.
I'm gonna re-roll my 2 as well.
I got it. I've got up to a 13.
That's still not enough.
Not quite there. Okay. Sam, you recognize some of the stuff to it. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, just based on what you've seen of her. But this body shaping ability looks like a nymph that would be retasking itself to different roles. But none of them really match anything that it ought to be doing. From a medical standpoint, Ali, were you doing medicine or science?
Oh, if I could do medicine, then
Well, I
that'd
mean,
be
you
a
can
lot
do either
higher.
one. You just get
I mean, we
different
both did
information.
science that time.
Yeah, you do. You get different information depending on what you look for. So
Ah.
if you want to try
instead of
medical,
science, I'd have to try medicine instead. Then
all right,
that is okay.
try the medicine. It's still difficulty 4.
Difficulty 4. 4? Oh, I thought it was 3. Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll. Can I roll for medicine as well then?
Yeah.
All right, it's the same, but I'm gonna use my boon ability on medicine to make it a 10 for target,
And 10
which I
target
basically
as well.
got the same number twice.
There you go.
Right. You are able to discern the symptomology has been now that Bep has seen the symptoms happens twice. Even though the weird molting and stuff is kind of baffling, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It could be a pulse thing. Maybe they've created some kind of bioprobe that does this. They've got other ones that have different shells and stuff. You're looking at a blip behind you that has a shell, so that's not too terribly unusual. But the symptomology does appear to be akin to a panic attack. You've seen it happen twice now, so it's like overwhelming, too much stimulation. You're not entirely sure it looked like it got prompted by the lights that time, but it could be overall stress to the area or that there's something weighing on her.
Would a perk kit contain anything calming?
Yeah, you can tranquilize her. There is the question of whether or not it's going to be compatible. Yeah.
Yeah. Bep would like to do a OD&D scan to check.
Okay. I'm going to say difficulty, let's say, actually probably just 1, because nymphs aren't all that unusual. You just have to know what to scan for.
Right. That puts me 4 over to roll 2d12.
Does Bep know she's a nymph?
No, but when she's using the Super Omni detection engine, so it's going to ping on something.
Tricorder knows everything.
Yeah.
Tricorder knows better, basically, right?
Yeah. Right. Bam, so, hey.
Nice.
That's a boon, so...
she is not pinging back as Vector or Blip or anything else that she should be. She's pinging back as Insect, essentially. It's like a mutated nymph of some kind.
Bep looks very confused briefly. Actually, so... As this is a incredibly corporate dystopian future, our designer children, much like bioprobes, I suppose, do they tend to include genetic markers of, hey, Corp made this?
Yeah, you can do that.
She doesn't include... does she have any genetic markers that would suggest where she's from?
I don't think so.
And that, in fact, would mean that she's not a person.
Right, pretty much.
Yeah.
Which means she's not under your healthcare plan, so you're done with her now.
No. This identifies as nymph-like?
Bep crosses arms. There are no people in danger here. Bep walks off.
Nymphs. Treatment for nymphs. No treatment for nymphs found.
Did you just use the placation system on her?
Yeah. Panic. Sudden fucking loud noises.
Bep goes to damage control.
Sonic machine.
Also, as I had the OD&D on Francois earlier, what was Francois' genetic marker?
I don't. Who made Francois? Francois, who made you?
Pulse?
I guess probably Pulse.
Not a subcorp?
I mean, it could be, depending on how your parents got him made, they could have gone through any number of different little subcorps or something.
Who made you, so Francois? Who's your genetic marker? You can say anything you want.
Who made me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Your parents made you, but who did they buy you through?
I'm assuming Pulse.
But you can make up a little subcorp or something if you wanted to have some.
Because most Islington setting aren't actually directly with the big corps.
Those are big umbrella names and stuff. Yeah, there's little guys. That can
Okay, well, whatever name he picks, it was a small subcorp that was conveniently sponsored by my parents.
Okay. You can make it
Punch and Flash.
The Krusty Krab.
Southpaw. Call it Southpaw.
Yeah.
Southpaw.
Yeah.
But you're
It was like the weirdest thing. You got no fingers.
But in all seriousness, do I know if I've got anything that would help a nymph?
It's just not the sort of thing that like they create protocol for. You know, it just hasn't come out.
They died and never
From a science check, you know that various sounds and pheromones are supposed to calm them. Just because like that's like a bug thing essentially.
Yeah. Like whenever I smell a burrito.
I don't know why, but I have this feeling Beth's going to gas us out of the building.
Flowers with my hollow emitter. Nice flowers. Calming flowers.
Couldn't hurt.
I don't know. The lights I thought couldn't hurt, but I was wrong.
Yeah. Sun's going down, big guy. Sun's going way down. So you do that, and she's kind of hovering amongst this various set of shells that have kind of erupted off of her in the corner. And as last time, when she comes out of the last one here, she looks pretty roughed up. The colorings are wrong. There's just like moisture on the shell. Looks decayed and sickly. So not in the greatest shape, but she's off in the corner for the time being. There is a little computer system in here that will allow you to access the game's information.
That's the stuff I downloaded, right?
Yeah. Anybody else wants to look at it, it's just over there at that line. There's like a console that you can do. It's got the icon for the game on it, so it looks like an accessible terminal.
Cat already knows everything he needs to know about the game.
I'm
Do they have a bestiary for the enemies?
Well, you can go have a peek.
Yeah, let's take a look.
There is various information about. There actually is sort of a biography of what you're in now for new players and things to look out for, which is kind of handy. The interface is rather friendly. Apparently, during the downtime, they actually allow you to access kind of metadata. So you've gotten a few points of interest about when things happen where and what's taken place and what to look out for. There's a little tab for factions. There are 3 tabs, 3 little things available there. It says 2 identified, 1 not identified. It doesn't say anything about what's in them though.
Press first tab.
So it pops up and there's this neat animation on the screen that places. It looks like a bunch of kind of like biomechanical, mostly mechanical wires that snake through everything around here and coil up in the middle around an egg-shaped device. That is the what do I name those guys?
That's Yuna's faction.
that is the end of the animation. Damn it! See, I had a name for them and now it just popped out of my head. Oh well. So it's just the graphic apparently. You're expected to know.
Bep will press second tab.
On the second tab, there is a series of hands that come up from the ground that all look all distended and like the fingers are too long, too many knuckles, that pop up from the ground and they all kind of raise upward and open up in a kind of like a cup, and on the top is a kind of sinister shadowy face with too many eyes on it, and that is the end that it shows on that one.
Bep will press the third tab.
There's just a little sign that says undiscovered.
Bep will press the first tab.
Same.
Bep will press the second tab.
And the loop continues.
Yeah, it will go on.
But it does go back to the animation every time.
Bep will patiently wait for the animation to play every time and then press the next tab.
Is anybody else doing anything?
Gargad's probably just standing in the corner practicing using the aura, the hollow emitter for making auras.
Vic is asleep.
It will take a moment or so, but after a few minutes of panting, you will hear a shuffling from the back corner as Nis pulls the kind of shell off of sort of it emerges from the collection of different bodies that she had spontaneously made. And tries to pull what was left of the coat over herself, and coughs a few times. and kind of come back forward again and sits down and goes, thanks for, I mean, not, we'll make it. We just gotta, we should wait till tomorrow and then we should try to find someplace like a museum or something. They're usually pretty good.
Bep has never been to a museum.
There's a couple nearby we can go to. We want one with good hallways, where you can't get stuck in a room on any one end. Something with exits to every exhibit. And we need to figure out what factions we're dealing with. That'll help too.
There are 3 factions, one unidentified. One goes like this, and she will like try and mime the animation.
Using no fingers and nothing else.
Yes.
Wait. So you didn't
I'm
have.
sorry, she isn't using the hollow emitter.
You guys
Well, I
have
had to
seen
program
them?
that.
What have you fought? There was a fight. I didn't see any of the fights. What have you fought?
Well, we fought some of these guys that kind of walk with their backs upward, like they're on all fours and their heads like twisted around and stuff like that, and they scream and they throw the cars around and they tear down buildings.
There's
a really big snake.
There's a big worm things that just come out of the ground.
Wait. So what? Like, and there were like tall guys too, like long people.
Yeah, there were long people. There were those two. Yeah.
And she gets this kind of excited look on her face, more or less, in a sickly sense, but it's a look of almost like childlike glee, and goes, oh, that's the Reanimator. Oh, that's a classic. Wow. So you fought them? What were they doing? They were like throwing things at you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Croquette will actually look over, since I'm assuming he at least knows a fair amount about like the enemy types.
I mean, it depends on how much you cared about this event. Because if your regular event was just fighting,
been in a fairly wide variety of the while now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you probably swap between different events because you just are in anything that's brawl, right? So if they change what the monsters are event to event, you might not have seen these particular ones. It's possible, though.
You can roll for it if you want.
No, and they brought a retirement.
Yeah. We'll just do one for the whole thing. So do a mind and protocol, and difficulty is going to be 2.
I don't have anything in protocol, but could I use? Oh no, we don't have anything. There's no longer the thing for like stats. Downgrade to 2d6.
Mm-hmm.
The difficulty was 2, so you have at least 1 in mind.
Use the protocol thing, you use it.
Right, you use your stat.
2 in mind now, so
Yeah,
it'd be
2d8.
Hey.
Yeah, you're fine. Okay, yeah, you have actually heard of these guys. So she kind of gets up, looking sort of excited, and claps her tail against the ground a little bit. Goes, the Reanimator's. Oh wow, he's okay. So that's a priority. We should priority that. The Pulse keeps track of everybody in the event, every single person, and every person who leaves the event by one way or the other, injury or surrender. That's another body the Reanimator gets to use. He gets stronger the more people have fallen. So if you don't take him out early in the event, by the end of it, he's unstoppable.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah. Nobody's ever stopped him after the first 3 days. He's got to get brought down early.
Speaking of which, you at the end of this are gonna need to disappear. Right?
She looks like she's kind of retreating from discussion of that. And doesn't know what to think. I mean, we won't. I don't want to worry about that right now. What about the next one?
Well, we need to be keeping our options open and keep an eye out for something that can help you with that.
I don't even know if I'm gonna make it for the next few days. I'm kind of falling apart.
You just gotta pull it together. It'll be all right. But we'll keep an eye out if there's something where you can.
A piece of her shell flakes off and falls.
Try and pick it up, put it back.
Like I'm running there.
Get some glue.
Yep.
And a septic lick.
Beth will see you safe and sound.
Did Toby get disconnected?
No, I'm here. I'm just listening. I said Vic was asleep, so.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
you're also not in Roll20, so it's weird.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he fell out of Roll20. There you go.
Oh, there's a bit. Yeah, it just suddenly came up with a "You have been disconnected."
There you go. So she goes, what was the second one? What else? What did you see for the other ones?
There were the screamers, the tentacle thingies that come from under the ground that are these giant worms, and
Wait, what giant worms?
then there's like these big mastermindy dudes.
No, the wait, what's the giant worm?
It's these big I look over kind of like it's kind of hard for me to describe because they were just so big. I could only see so much of it at once. But maybe bow or thick
Or can I actually point it around and go, kind of like his arms, but like 20 feet tall?
Oh, like a giant thing, like a mechanical thing?
Yeah, big, real, like.
Yeah, it was really big.
Just snoozing from the corner, you just hear Vic kind of pop up. It was
They
like
didn't-
a thing that could grab you from the ground, like a
They-
graboid.
Like they basically like seem like they noticed like if you make too much noise passing through an area, then they just kind of rumble up and attack. But you can sneak past them.
Yeah, that's a techrofestation. That's wow. I thought they shut those down. Yeah, okay, that's a thing. We got to watch out for that. So their whole thing is they take over all the machines in the area. They'll start colonizing and setting up hives and just laying snakes and all the wires and all the we got to be careful about buildings. Maybe we got to rethink some of the buildings. You don't want anything that has a really big infrastructure in it. You got to stay away from walls too.
See.
Mhm.
Was I able to download the event information to my air quote toggle?
Yeah, well, it's what it provides.
What it provides.
Yeah, so
in that case, Bep will light up her fur as the smart screen of her inbuilt armor, and gesture at Nis. Please feel free to browse event information.
But I would have to poke you.
That is okay.
Let's go squeaky.
She'll poke the next tab and say, yeah, no, this is it. No, they shut this one down for you. She giggles a little bit. This is always the worst interface. I don't know why they decided to build a screen that giggled. They took this one down. You can't stop the infestation from here. It's and she points up, and then she points up with another hand indicating higher than that. She goes, they begin their infestation from space. There's a near orbit satellite. It was supposed to be one of the off-world events associated with it, but the last time somebody tried to do it, they lingered too long on the satellite as it entered, and they all died in reorbit or in reentry. So they shut it down for a while. I wonder if they've changed it.
Sounds pretty scary, actually. But yeah, there's those. I think I told you about the screamer guys that throw the car, and then there's the big mastermindy thing that seemed like it was directing everybody.
Yeah,
it's got like kind of big spider carapace and legs and stuff.
Big eye on the middle of it.
Yeah.
That's part of the reanimator shtick. So that's the two that they've seen so far. They didn't show a third.
Third is unknown.
If they've shown the first two this early in the event, the third's going to be some kind of roaming hero. It'll be somebody the crowd knows, which is a problem. I don't know how big or how small it's going to be. It's just going to be really capable and probably personal.
Wait, you mean there's going to be like a guy that we can go and beat up?
Or come and beat up us. It could be any number of things. It could be an old name or a previous winner or something. But the two they've dropped on us already are both large.
I'm gonna turn and give squinty
factions.
eyes at Francois and Croquette. Now, if either of you is the third lingering faction, you got to tell us right now.
Is Buff Badass a faction?
Bep points at herself. Is it Bep?
I don't think it's Bep, although that would be funny.
I think you mean it would be heroic.
It's the little one, ain't it?
It might be him, she says, looking up at Rao.
Francois gonna shove Sammy and be like, "It's you."
Rao is going to look as innocent as a very.
I've been with Rao
very
since the beginning of this event. There's no way that he is one of the boss monsters.
The idea of Francois shoving Sammy is horrifying.
I know, it's just like this big red like wall.
It's not even a casual thing. You literally have to lean down to the 6-inch tall thing and like pat.
Well, he just uses one of his small arms, so it's a gentle nudge.
Lean down.
That's even worse because the small arms are all like mid-torso base, so you have to lean over Sam so that the small arm can like get to it. That's much worse.
Alright, so let's get through our rest and then we'll go find this museum because this belongs in a museum.
I do. No, I don't.
Didn't you kill like 30 people? Are you sure you ain't the monster?
No.
I think what happened with her might be unrelated to the event because even though people air quote die during these events, you're not supposed to actually die. You're just supposed to be like, "Oh no, I'm dead," and you get removed from the event. I think.
That's a.
Unless they drop a building on you.
There is that. Slight building.
Just idly from the cargo. That's a fairly recent.
I don't know what you said because it cut off after fairly.
That's a fairly recent rule change. Just kind of absent-mindedly.
Yeah. So you guys can try to catch your 40 winks.
All right. I am going to talk to Rao and Croquette, and if Francois wants to participate and kind of have a little private conversation. I'm not like doing it too much. I'm gonna try to have like a little powwow, probably without Nis. Well, maybe Nis and Bep are doing Dance Revolution stuff that they seem to keep doing.
Bep asks Nis, "Does Bep have a soul?"
So,
Nis says, "I have a few spares."
I want to confirm something because I succeeded both the roles for the medical and the science.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know she's a nymph?
No, well, I mean, you know she seems to be patterned off it, but that there is no knowledge of a species of exonymph. They basically have to tell you about themselves to figure out what they are. But
right.
she seems to be some kind of blip that is using a whole lot of nymph DNA.
She's very nymph-like.
Yeah.
She's very nymph-like. So, guys, I just want to talk to you about this a little quiet about it. I don't know for sure what's going on with her. I think that this might be maybe a bioprobe or something like that, and maybe patterned after a nymph or something. She's a lot of the stuff she's doing kind of reminds me of the little bug things that keep the environment all happy. She's doing a lot of things like that, and it's not quite like people. So I don't know if they made like a little blip child and like maybe went a little mad scientist or whatever it is, it's made her really unstable.
Enhanced sense listening check.
Gas.
Mm-hmm. But I think it's I think it's something fair to kind of keep an eye out for. So if I don't think she's very stable, and I think we're gonna have to keep an eye out for it. I also don't think that she's gonna be coming out of this game safe. So if we see an out for her, we might want to just nudge her towards it, because I don't think when this is all over that Pulse is gonna be rewarding her for anything.
I don't know, they'll probably turn her into a science fair at that.
Yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to touch base with you folks real quick. Also, great job out there. You guys are kind of amazing. Especially liked the whole Rock'em Sock'em. You and your new best friend there. Are you old friends or are you new friends? What is it?
Old friends.
Old friends? Oh, that's great.
I work
Anyway,
with them a bunch.
we stick together and we'll get through this. And I I know Bix's dad was really upset about whatever Nis is. And I think he has intentions of turning her over. But I'm not sure, because he was kind of talking to me about it when I talked to him in the back room, because I could tell he was freaking out real bad. He wanted us to ditch her.
So, what did she do exactly?
She ate like 30 people.
You know...
I think there were 15 in the lab, yeah.
Is that bad?
I think murder is considered not okay in most civilized culture.
Oh.
Unless it's, agreed upon in a epic battle fight, like in a full arena.
What's stopping her from eating us? She had a little...
I don't know. She seems really timid and scared right now, so I don't know. But
that's what the first 15 thought.
Yes. Do you have an urge to eat any of us?
What? No, no. Wait, what? What have you heard?
They are discussing the nature of your existence and how to get you to safety, and whether it is morally correct.
Guys, I can go.
Also, Nis has no known bioprobe or blip manufacturer markers.
Thank you for totally eavesdropping, Bep, and relaying our very secretive conversation. Appreciate it.
You are welcome.
Oh, was this secret?
We were trying to be polite and just tell people, sorry, Miss, I kind of know that you're you act a little nymphish. Are you some kind of a blip or a bioprobe? I mean, what did they do to you? You're not. Your anatomy and your mannerisms are kind of. It doesn't look like any kind of surgeries I'm used to seeing on a regular vector.
I'm just I was a bunch of as a scientist. Or I mean,
you're a scientist.
As a bunch of scientists.
I was a scientist. No, I mean, I was like, I think the mall would be kind of fun though. No, that would be terrible. Why do I keep going back to the mall? And she shakes her head again. I don't know.
Multiple personality disorder.
There's a couple of me's in here.
Francois's not really sure about this one.
That one little girl that we saw that was dead. I mean, there was a mark on the back of her head, as I recall. I didn't really check the other bodies, but did you kill them all the same way?
I didn't kill them all. I mean, she killed some of them.
Who's she? If somebody committed the murder and it wasn't you, you need to come clean on that, because it could save your life.
Oh, it wouldn't. She's already gone too.
Oh, did she die? I'm sorry.
She was. I mean, I wasn't. She kind of takes a breath and sits down and tries to put things in order and puts her hands on the ground to try to keep track of people. As I was here, and then she was another one like me who was here, and she broke us out. We were in there for weeks, and she broke us out when the game started. And then they shot her, and then I got them and her and everybody else.
You were under containment by a non-IRPF entity.
I don't know. Some of them were IRPF, some of them were Poles. There was one born from Colorado. One of them was married. I got his ring somewhere.
So, you were held captive, and they did weird stuff to you?
I think so. I mean, I did, yeah.
And the guy that did it's coming after us.
Sounds like that's what's happening.
Why were you captive?
Wait a minute. Alright. So this guy wants to keep all this hush-hush, but we've all just said it out loud with cameras everywhere.
Yeah, but we're in a rest period right now, and I don't know if saying it too loud is going to be good for Nis, because I don't think...
You are inside a closed room currently.
Alright.
I mean, you got the garage door closed
I don't
over
know,
here and stuff.
given what maybe been done to her, she might not even have people rights right now. You know how weird the laws are?
I'm pretty sure I've got no people rights.
I understand. I'm edible in several planets, and you don't want to ever go there.
True.
Several planets. So the entire solar system.
Yeah, most of them. She's actually got a lot of the same markers I
He
do.
is edible in all of colonized Sol.
To be fair, you're not alone. Most of us that are made of meat are technically actually edible. Alright, so...
Yeah,
I think the only...
Francois looks at the snake, and he's like, not giving you any ideas.
Cogs do not
He's
consume
made
meat.
of metal.
He is made of metal. He does not consume the meat.
A snake is a snake.
Oh,
Hey,
that was
dick move.
Racism protected.
Your racism picker goes off. You actually have a just because in General Francois there are no there isn't a rainbow shrimp. All arthropods and stuff are all based off of nymphs. They were all generated. So there's probably something that fills that niche underwater, but you have a lot of the same genetic markers that she does. There might actually be some similarities just in the way the carapace looks.
Oh, maybe my family's company wouldn't mind hanging out with her.
I don't think she's too keen on that idea right now.
her.
Yeah.
Anyway, we just should all be on the same page about what's going on and stick it out together as a group.
I don't think you
say-
need to make too many decisions right off the bat.
I will say, if you try to, bite any of us, it probably won't go good for any of us.
It'll be fine. I've been told anything that tries to eat my head will starve.
Keep that in mind, Ness, when you think about him, alright? No getting water out of the dry well.
I've been waiting to say that for 5 minutes.
She giggles a little bit because that's why he was always my favorite. And then she frowns a little bit and goes, "No, wait, he was always my favorite. No, wait, she was always my. Oh, I'll figure it out, maybe."
All right, just
You have a lot of
trying
favorites,
to
it's fine.
get it together, and don't worry, we'll keep you hidden as much as we can. All right?
She coughs a few times. The shell falls off again.
Oh, that's not okay. Is that normal for you? Is that what you do when you molt or something? Or what are you doing? Is this shedding?
Let's gonna put a plaster over that spot.
I don't do shedding because I don't have that problem in my genetics.
She sniffs a little bit and says, "I just have a headache."
Oh, I'd give you a tablet, but I don't know if it'd help.
She giggles a little bit at her own joke, and then giggles a bit more at her own joke, and then the giggling gets a little bit more than it ought to, and she just kind of curls up the corner and goes to bed.
Oh, that wasn't an okay joke anymore. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep watch for a bit.
Francois is just gonna put the tarp over her again.
Just cover it
Put
up
a blanket
with the
on
tarp.
it.
This is how we fix it. Tarp time.
Also, Bep apologizes for refilling the conversation. If you wish for Bep to not listen, you may tell Bep.
All right, Bep. We'll make sure to let you know next time.
Bep, we're
okay?
going
I
in the
just,
corner. Don't listen.
Hey, Bep.
If we're going to go to the secret conversation.
Bep, when we get back into Wi-Fi range, I want you to like, share, and subscribe all of my social media.
Therefore, like, share, and subscribe all of my social media.
Thank you, Bep. You're good.
Bep
Bep,
is.
you're good.
Alright,
All
we'll
right,
hold it for there for now.
I'll take first watch. All right.
Bep has no social media.
How will Bep comply?
Wait,
Somebody explain to Bep, how is 3 and 5 and 10 plus Queen error? She holds up cards.
No.
How much is royalty worth? A dead planet!
Can we have the XP?
You may possess 13 of the XPs.
Oh my god.
I
What are you
will
gonna
take-
name this session?
You may also
you can name it
possess
whatever you want.
100 fun bucks.
I get 100 fun bucks.
100 fun bucks. Allie
In the
doesn't get
form of
any
a Tricky
fun
Dick
bucks. Can I
fun
have
bill.
Allie's fun bucks?
Allie doesn't get fun bucks. That's true.
Ah.
I'm
Can I
giving.
have Allie's
Game
fun
game.
bucks?
I give Allie's.
Magic Crumbos?
What's that?
You gain Magic Crumbos?
Uh.
I'm just calling the magic goofy names.
Ah, fair enough. Oh yes. We get fun bucks in the form of a Tricky Dick fun bill. Oh.
That was how many fun bucks?
100.
But can I have Allie's money?
No,
That's what the final faction is. He's just gonna be sitting there sweet. I've been waiting for you.
So you're telling us that at the very end we somehow all get space?
You claim to go out of my town.
Yes.
Run with rampant.
It's time for you all to clear out.
Now that both factions are dead, time for me.
Nixon's back.
Place.
He'll be in the giant robot suit.
Also, I feel the need to point out to anybody here, when doing a healing build, don't choose the public placation system. I realise my error now.
That you hit a lot of people that you're trying to heal. That's right. In the event that healing.
Also, I like how it's immediately, Sam, I will cut a bitch if you heal somebody. And I'm just sitting there going, but my techniques! I took these before you were here!
Sam goes to heal in the corner.
Checkmate.
Yeah, I'm gonna call this Francois gets close and personal with a car.
Okay.
Ah,
Just call it
sadly
Heals a shrimp.
Francois joins the Automobile Club.
There we go.
Bet shrimp healer.
Okay, and then credits earned, I put 100.
100 fun bucks.
Yay, 100 fun bucks.
I have
Which
100.
means if we find a printer, you can spend like 300 credits.
Yeah,
I
there'll be a little one in here if you guys want to get little things. You can get them from there.
Alright, and
You can get
next episode, I make another improvised explosive.
Well, it's just like, stacking them up.
I can't buy grenades, but I can make one per episode.
Alright,
Save
y'all.
it.
Thank you all for coming to the Stram. If anybody's still around over there, hope you enjoyed it.
Actually, I have the salvage specialist too, Allie. Do you want me to help you make grenades?
We're going to stop streaming and stop recording. Ta-ta.